Phoenix Nights. Chapter 1305. However, I've learned all the scriptures. Dongbu Shuang revealed a smile. He had already obtained the original copy of the Void Devil Insect scripture. As for the other two middle stage God Emperor scriptures, Heaven and Earth and Realmless, he had also learned them. In this world, the culmination of the wisdom of the Tao of Void Ascendance over a long period of time was a late stage God Emperor scripture and two middle stage God Emperor scriptures. The God Emperor late stage scripture had never been passed down to outsiders, so he couldn't learn it. As for the middle stage God Emperor scripture, it was only because it was circulated in the outside world that he was able to learn it by exchanging items. Absorbing the wisdom of other experts for my own use. Dongbu Shuang sat cross-legged and began to carefully comprehend. An expert should learn from others. Learn from heaven and earth. Learn from all things. Learn from others. Absorb the insights of others, integrate them into oneself, and open up one's own path. These three scriptures were all very impressive. Even the early stage God Emperor Void Devil Insect scripture was impressive. After all, it was a stable cultivation technique. The Void Devil Insect scripture specialized in flight techniques. When flying, one would be like a devil insect. Although it couldn't travel through the void, its speed far surpassed other early stage God Emperor scriptures. Even middle stage God Emperor scriptures couldn't catch up to it. However, this cultivation technique was good at escaping, but it was slightly weaker in battle. As for the two middle stage God Emperor Heaven and Earth and Realmless, they were even more impressive. These two were both cultivation techniques of the body. Heaven and Earth was to cultivate the entire body into a huge heaven and earth. The muscles were like boundless and thick land, the bones were like mountain ranges, and the blood was like a surging void river. In the void river, there were even celestial bodies floating, surging along with the river. This world was incomparably vast. There were celestial bodies, stars, space, and land. A body that contained many worlds that were perfectly fused together. When cultivating this cultivation technique to the later stages, one would be forced to reveal their powerful true body in battle. Even in the divine world, the true body revealed would be 10,000 li wide. It was much bigger than many God Emperor natives of the divine world. The body was huge, and the strength was boundless. His every move was incomparably tyrannical. As an ascendant, even if he was in the middle stage of the God Emperor, his battle prowess was comparable to that of the late stage of the God Emperor. Although Unbounded was also a body refinement technique, it was completely different from Heaven and Earth. Heaven and Earth was a perfect integration of all kinds of world structures into one's physical body. As for the Realmless, there was only one word: emptiness. Every tiny particle in the body was like a vast space. The entire body was like a large space wrapping around a small space, and a large space wrapping around a large space. Layer by layer, the body of an expert who cultivated this technique was a perfect whole formed by countless layers of space. Those who cultivated this technique would also be very strange in battle. Even if they were suppressed by the divine world, they would still be able to grow to the size of 1,000,000 miles. They were small, but they were like ants. God Emperor was a late-stage expert. If he were to land a full-powered strike on Qin Mu's body, the countless layers of space within his body would be able to easily absorb the incoming force. He stood there and allowed the enemy to attack him, but the enemy couldn't hurt him at all. Even the top 30 terrifying existences in the world could only injure him, but not kill him. In terms of life-saving ability, Unbounded was above Heaven and Earth. And Heaven and Earth was relatively balanced. Be it survival or direct combat, it was comparable to the late-stage God Emperor. The creator of this technique had spent a lot of effort on this Tao path. Dongbu Shuang was clear that he might be able to learn it, but to continue creating it? How could he compare with the creator who had painstakingly created it step by step? These two techniques have flaws. The ambition of Heaven and Earth is too huge. It requires the body to be the world. It involves too many worlds, and all sorts of operations are too complex. Dongbu Shuang shook his head, even when God Emperor was at the middle stage, I find it unfathomably complex. To reach the late stage, grand perfection, or even chaotic origin life form? Just thinking about it makes me feel that this path is too difficult. Of course, every expert had a different understanding of the Tao. He, Dongbui Shuang, felt that this path was a dead end. But others felt that it was the most promising path. Unbounded is too extreme. It pursues the ultimate survival ability. Dongbui Shuang thought. These three great scriptures had their merits. Dongbui Shuang was also comprehending them wholeheartedly. His avatars in the distant realm Heart Great Land and his hometown Primal Chaos Void were also comprehending them. Comprehending them and absorbing the laws and profound mysteries. Fusing them into his chaotic origin refinement body. Gradually, Dongbui Shui Ying's chaotic origin refinement body recovered to the early stage God Emperor strength. Furthermore, his originally unstable body refinement technique had gradually changed. He had also absorbed the inclusiveness of Unbounded and the operation of heaven and earth. His chaotic origin refinement body was also gradually stabilizing. Furthermore, because he had reached the early stage God Emperor in the different profound mysteries of the Tao of Void in the realm Heart Great Land and in this world, his foundation had become much more profound. In the blink of an eye, it had been more than 8 million years since Dongbui Shuang came to this world. Amidst the vast clouds, a huge ship was flying at high speed. On the ship, many protectors emitting the aura of God monarchs were scattered to the left and right. Who? A muscular figure walked out from a cabin. He was wearing a thick black robe. He walked to the bow of the ship. Behind him were 5 other figures. These 5 were either male or female. All of them were emitting the aura of the early stage God Emperor. "We should be arriving at High Mountain City soon," this muscular old man said. "According to our current speed, we should be arriving in another 5 days. A green-robed girl behind him said after sensing for a while. 5 more days! The muscular old man watched from afar. The edge of his lips curled upwards. "Yufeng Jun Shan, your good days are just 5 days away. Big brother, ever since you broke through, this Macaw's clan has been sending caravans to other cities. Even though they are called caravans, in reality, they are bringing along a large number of Macaw's clan disciples. Many of the Imperial Wind clan's disciples were scattered in various cities. There were too many cities that were scattered. Those disciples are not too famous. It is hard to find them," a white-robed male said. "What can we do?" The muscular old man indifferently said. "This is an open and above-board method. Many disciples of the Macaw's clan are scattered across many cities. Furthermore, all of them are keeping a low profile. It is impossible to find them, and it isn't worth it. Search? Most would rely on tracing techniques. Firstly, one would have to form a karmic connection with the other party. It was too difficult to form a karmic connection with those ordinary disciples of the Macaw's clan. It was so subtle that it was hard to discover. After all, it was impossible to find them. In the future, we just have to keep an eye on them. The moment we discover anyone rising up in the name of the Macaw's clan, we can just eliminate them," the muscular male said. "As long as they don't rise up, we don't have to care about those weak little disciples. Yes, we don't have to care about them. The Macaw's clan is just a small superpower in the entire divine realm. It is simply a dream for another God Emperor to appear." All of them were disdainful. How difficult was it for a new God Emperor to appear? Even if one were to appear, the master of the Demon Heart Society could easily eliminate them. After eliminating Yufeng Ju Shan and his precious children, as well as the core experts of the Macaw's clan, wiping out the entire Macaw's clan within High Mountain City, this enmity will be temporarily resolved. I am still very benevolent. The muscular male chuckled. His smile was slightly savage. This Yufeng Jun Shan is quite courageous. He has always remained within the city and did not try to escape. He can't escape even if he wanted to. We are keeping an eye on him, and he has nowhere to run. The reason why he chose to remain in High Mountain City is most likely because he wants to rely on the geographical advantage to fight against us. Fighting against our Demon Heart Society? Haha, what a joke. The entire high mountain city should not be able to hold on for more than the time taken to brew a cup of tea under our attack. The other 5 god emperors sneered. Given how the master of the Demon Heart Society was currently ranked on the god emperor list, he only had 5 initial stage god emperor experts under him. This was because he had just broken through not too long ago. Given the strength of the master of the Demon Heart Society, it was normal for him to have more than 10 god emperor experts under him. Even though the strength of High Mountain City is ordinary, the few of you should still be careful. The other party is about to fight to the death. Not only must we kill them, we must also minimize our losses. The master of the Demon Heart Society swept his gaze across these 5 subordinates. Yes, big brother. These 5 god emperor acknowledged. The master of the Demon Heart Society nodded before entering the cabin. Chapter 1306. Snowflakes were sparkling and translucent. They floated down in the world. Dongbush Shuang and Nobike's Kiyoshi were currently drinking wine together. They were listening to the zither music by the side. Not far away from them, there was a beautiful girl concentrating on playing the zither. The melodious sound of the zither permeated the entire garden. Dongbush Shuang was enjoying it quite a lot. When the zither music stopped, that female zither player stopped too. She smiled at Dongbush Shuang and Nobike's Kiyoshi. I hope for God Monarch Feishuat and Third Lady to comment on it. This female zither player chuckled. Every time I listen to Sister Leng play the zither, it feels just like a dream. It is truly beautiful. Nobike's Kiyoshi immediately praised. Her eyes were brightening. Dongbush Shuang had a grin on his face. Even though he was quite fond of music, he had never cared about it. Ever since his disciple Nobike's Kiyoshi strongly recommended this number 1 zither player in High Mountain City, Ling Xian, he nodded his head at that time and agreed to let this female zither player play at his residence. Even though Dongbush Shuang had always been concealing his strength, he had still defeated Bat Mountain Master with what he revealed on the surface. This Ling Xian female zither player was naturally doing her best to perform. At the start, Dongbush Shuang only felt that it was stunning. But after listening to it several times at his residence, Dongbush Shuang gradually figured out that this zither music was somewhat similar to his Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. There was a Tao of Bewilderment in the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm, and this Tao of Bewilderment could be executed by relying on sound. She is indeed the number 1 zither player in High Mountain City. For her to become the number 1 zither player and have such a huge reputation, her attainments in the Tao of music should have reached an extremely high level. Her ancestral god bloodline is also specialized in this Tao. Even though her usage of sound is still crude, the feeling of freedom that comes from her heart is something I cannot compare to. Dongbush Shuang thought. He had comprehended 2 great killing techniques in his Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. One would cause the enemy to fall into oblivion, and the other would destroy the soul of the enemy. These 2 techniques were comprehended by Dongbush Shuang from the gray eyes and golden eyes, but he was unable to perfectly combine them. But after listening to the music, he knew his problem. I've always known that the innate desire of any soul is freedom. That is the path of the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. Dongbush Shuang sighed. I've seen the 1,000-eyed water droplet once, and I've been trying my best to recall it. I've been trying my best to fuse the 2 killer moves, but in fact, it's too deliberate. I clearly know that freedom is the essence of the soul, and this is the core of the fusion of the 2 killer moves. Dongbush Shuang sighed as well. That was how cultivation worked. Even if someone told him the method, he wouldn't be able to comprehend the essence of the method without suffering enough. After understanding this point, his avatars in the Realm Heart Great Land and his hometown Primal Chaos Void immediately went into closed-door cultivation. Dongbush Shuang had a premonition that he would be able to fuse the 2 great killing techniques using the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm together after sufficient time. This was because this zither music had touched upon his cultivation of the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. That was why Dongbush Shuang would frequently invite this female zither master over. God Monarch Feishua hasn't commented on it yet. The female zither master looked at Dongbush Shuang. Lady Ling's zither music is unrestrained and unrestrained. It makes the hearts of others resonate with it. Dongbu Shuang hesitated for a moment before continuing, but Lady Ling should collect more cultivation techniques related to the Tao of sound and comprehend it. Perhaps it might be helpful to you. Dongbu Shuang did not mention it previously because he was worried that he would lose his original sense of freedom if he deliberately delved into the Tao of sound. But from the perspective of cultivation, it would be beneficial for one to suffer some hardships. Sound? The female zither master felt puzzled. Music is music, and sound is sound. Comprehend it. It might be helpful to you. Dongbu Shuang answered. Many thanks for God Monarch's guidance. Even though the female zither master felt puzzled, she still decided to listen to the guidance of this ascendant God Monarch. She would search for some cultivation scriptures related to sound and ponder over them. In the past, she purely cultivated her bloodline energy. Music was a natural manifestation of her bloodline energy. It was her innate talent. Dongbu Shuang nodded. Even though he was accompanying his disciple and talking to this female zither master, Dongbu Shuang would frequently think about the laws and profound mysteries in his mind. Reaching his realm, multitasking was as simple as eating and drinking. Those two seniors could create the middle stage God Emperor heaven and earth and realmless. As for my chaotic origin refinement body, I still have many problems to solve before I can reach the middle stage God Emperor. Dongbu Shuang pondered. Currently, his chaotic origin refinement body was completely stable at the early stage God Emperor. He had even created several versions of his body, allowing him to barely reach the middle stage God Emperor strength. But none of them were stable. But cultivating under different civilizations is indeed helpful. Dongbu Shuang understood the intention of Yuan at this moment. Different civilizations. The law suppression in the realm Heart Great Land was entirely different from this world. He had to adapt to the laws of different civilizations. This process of adaptation would also allow his Tao to become more perfect. Only those who could traverse through all worlds would be eternal. Only then would they be qualified to jump out of the cage and become a chaotic origin life form. God Monarch Feishue, hurry over to my residence. A transmission came. Amen? Dongbu Shuang, who was still pondering over his chaotic origin refinement body, became startled. It's a transmission from City Master Yufeng Jun Shan? Father? Nobike's Kiyoshi was startled too. She had also received a transmission. Kiyoshi, the City Master has summoned you? Dongbu Shuang chuckled when he saw the expression on his disciple's face. Yes. Nobike's Kiyoshi nodded. Then let's go together, Dongbu Shuang said. He then turned to the female zither player Ling Xian by the side. Lady Ling, Kiyoshi and I still have some matters to attend to. You should return first. The female zither player Ling Xian immediately left. Dongbu Shuang also brought Nobike's Kiyoshi to the City Master residence. The City Master residence was also where the Makaz clan was located. It occupied a huge area within the main palace. At this moment, a large group of experts had already gathered. There were disciples from the Makaz clan, and there were also experts like Bat Mountain Master, God Monarch Jianyin, and Dongbu Shuang. The majority here were at least middle-stage God Monarchs, including middle-stage God Monarchs. It was rare to see someone as weak as Nobike's Kiyoshi. It was only because she was the daughter of the City Master that she was qualified to be here. Brother Feishue, why do you think the City Master has suddenly summoned so many people? Almost all experts within the city have been gathered. Bat Mountain Master walked over. His triangular head was indeed ugly, though his expression was filled with passion. Who knows? Dongbu Shuang did not care about it. He stayed in the high mountain city primarily to cultivate. It has been a long time since the high mountain city has gathered so many experts. I feel that something is amiss, Bat Mountain Master said. It was not just him. Many other experts present felt flustered. Everyone could vaguely guess the reason for gathering so suddenly without mentioning it. He is here. The City Master is here. The palace hall quietened down. The gray-haired middle-aged man who had experienced the vicissitudes of life, Yufeng Junshan, came out from the side door of the palace hall. Housekeeper Tong followed by his side. This Yufeng Junshan had revived the Macaw's clan. He could cultivate to the God-Emperor realm, and even established his own power. He was indeed a formidable character. It's just that currently, Yufeng Junshan's expression was solemn. He walked over to the throne and stood. He did not sit down. Instead, he looked downwards and said, "I know that everyone is guessing why I have suddenly summoned everyone." Everyone below turned towards Yufeng Junshan. "There is a powerful enemy currently rushing towards my high mountain city." Yufeng Junshan looked downwards. "He should be arriving in an hour." "What? Powerful enemy? An hour?" At that moment, the entire palace hall turned chaotic. This news came too suddenly. "City Master, what powerful enemy? Why is he attacking my high mountain city?" A commotion broke out below. Yufeng Junshan frowned slightly. He snorted softly, causing the palace hall to quieten down. "The enemy is very powerful. Furthermore, he has a huge enmity with my Macaw's clan that cannot be resolved." Yufeng Junshan looked downwards and coldly chuckled. "I know what everyone is thinking. I have a grudge with the Macaw's clan. It isn't like I have a grudge with you all. Am I right?" The expressions of many experts below changed slightly. "I, Yufeng Junshan, have been treating everyone well ever since I controlled the high mountain city. Now that we are facing danger, I hope that everyone can contribute a part of your strength," Yufeng Junshan said. Even though he said please, everyone present could feel the tyrannical willpower coming from Yufeng Junshan. Clearly, everyone present had to agree to it. Otherwise, the entire Macaw's clan residence would be controlled by the Macaw's clan. The Macaw's clan was originally powerful, and they controlled the arrays. How would they dare to resist? "The few of us will naturally do our best. City Master, the few of us have received the grace of the Macaw's clan. We will naturally not retreat now." At that moment, many experts took the initiative to speak. Those who could survive until now were not fools. They knew that it was impossible for them to leave even if they wanted to. "Amen," Yufeng Junshan nodded. "You can be rest assured. When the time comes, I will personally deal with the most dangerous enemy. There are also many experts from my Macaw's clan who will deal with them. Furthermore, all of you have the support of the entire array. The enemy that you will face will not be too strong." Everyone present could only choose to believe him. They had no other choice. Dongbua Shuang listened quietly in the crowd. Strong enemy? For Yufeng Junshan to force all the experts in the city, it seemed like the enemy was a huge threat. Nobuke's Kiyoshi, who was standing beside him, hesitated for a moment. Then, she secretly sent a message to Dongbua Shuang. "Master, the enemy is very strong. The Macaw's clan will not be able to hold them off. Master, later on, stay far away and keep a low profile. Once you find an opportunity, quickly escape. There is no need to die with the Macaw's clan." Nobuke's Kiyoshi and the others had already received strict orders not to spread the news to the outside world. "We will not be able to hold them off." Dongbua Shuang was shocked. He turned to look at his disciple. Nobuke's Kiyoshi nodded at him and sent a message at the same time. "Master, this is a calamity for the Macaw's clan. It is Kiyoshi's honor to be able to meet Master before the calamity. However, this calamity is too dangerous. Master, please do not get involved too deeply. It is useless. The enemy is too strong. They are much stronger than the Macaw's clan." Dongbua Shuang could feel his disciple's eagerness and concern for him. Is Kiyoshi and the others ready to die in battle? This silly disciple. Dongbua Shuang looked at Nobuke's Kiyoshi and smiled. He then sent a message to her. "Don't worry. Master will never do anything that he is not confident of." When Nobuke's Kiyoshi heard this, she was relieved. However, she was also slightly disappointed that her master did not care about her disciple's life or death. "I wrote too slowly today. I am ashamed, so I only updated once." Chapter 1307. There was a slight commotion in the hall. Yufeng Junshan sat on the throne. His expression was cold, and his eyes were filled with cold intent. He chose to stay behind because he was prepared to die in battle. The Imperial Wind clan had prospered for a long period. There were many clansmen too. Some of them were younger or weaker. Imperial Wind High Mountain felt that they were worth nurturing. Hence, he had sent them to many cities over the past 8 million years. He even strictly ordered the clansmen to stay in hiding and not to walk around in the name of the Makaz clan. Humph, my Makaz clan has so many clansmen, but how many of them does your Demon Heart Society know? Even if you can find most of them. But how many experts were there in the Devil Heart cult that could track him down? You want to search city by city? My Makaz clan did not care about the price to install arrays and use the terrain to fight against you. You want to destroy my Makaz clan? Let's see how many experts you have to sacrifice. Yufeng Junshan's killing intent was rising. He only wanted to kill as many enemies as possible before he died. Bat Mountain Master and God Monarch Jian walked over to Dongbush Shuiying. The three of them were the cultivation masters of the Makaz clan. Brother Fei Xue, Brother Jian, Bat Mountain Master transmitted. City Lord asked us to stay here in the Makaz clan residence. It seems like you have abandoned the outer city from the start. We need to defend the inner city with all our strength. The enemy is definitely terrifying to be able to force the Makaz clan to abandon the outer city and defend the inner city. Bat Mountain Master's words make sense. Brother Fei Xue, what do you think? God Monarch Jian looked at Dongbush Shuiying. Let's wait and see. Dongbush Shuiying did not say anything else. Bat Mountain Master and God Monarch Jian couldn't help but feel suspicious. They wanted to form an alliance with God Monarch Fei Xue. The three of them were at the top of the peak stage God Monarchs. If the three of them worked together, they would be able to deal with God Emperor. However, Dongbush Shuiying's attitude was not very positive. Dongbush Shuiying gazed at the outside world through the entrance of the hall. The entire high mountain city spanned just a few 100,000 kilometers. It was considered the outer city. The Makaz clan's mansion occupied tens of thousands of square kilometers. The core formation was set up in the Makaz clan's mansion, which was the inner city. The hall was in an uproar. Time slowly passed. They're finally here! Yufeng Junshan suddenly stood up. He didn't even bother to hide his murderous aura. His aura was monstrous. Then, he turned into a stream of light and rushed out of the hall. Second brother, third sister, take care of yourselves! The eldest son, Minamoto no Raiki, glanced at his siblings and rushed out of the hall. Housekeeper Tong also rushed out. So. A group of figures flew out one after another. More than half the peak stage God Monarch experts of the Makaz clan had left the hall. They formed their combat formations with great familiarity. As for experts like Dongbush Shuiying, they were not that proactive. They simply walked to the entrance of the hall and looked at the distant sky. It's here! A battleship! Everyone could see a huge ship floating in the distant horizon. Underneath, an enormous city-protecting array appeared over the entire high mountain city. It was like a barrier protecting the entire city. Suddenly, a huge hand extended out from that battleship. This hand was several kilometers long. It rumbled as it smashed against the light barrier protecting the entire city. The light barrier distorted slightly before being broken apart. That huge ship did not seem to slow down at all. It simply flew into the high mountain city through the hole created by the light barrier. So easily? The group of experts from High Mountain City gathered in the hall changed their expressions when they saw this. Even though the city master has given up on the outer city and did not use his full strength to defend against the enemy, the city protecting array was destroyed with a single palm. The strength of the enemy is too frightening. It should be impossible for an early stage God Emperor to achieve this. Unless, many experts had many thoughts appearing in their minds. It was tough for God Emperor to break through every minor realm. 99% of the God Emperors in the entire Divine Realm were at the early stage God Emperor realm. It was too difficult to reach the middle stage God Emperor realm. Most middle-stage God-Emperor experts were qualified to be ranked on the God-Emperor list. There were only a total of 1,000 experts on the God-Emperor list. One could see how rare it was to reach the middle-stage God-Emperor realm. The huge ship arrived. With a single palm, it destroyed the city-protecting array of the outer city and entered the city. Many natives of the divine realm living in the city looked up. They were so frightened that some even hid in their houses to prevent themselves from being affected by the shockwaves from the battle. "Hurry up and hide! All of you, enter the underground meditation room." The entire city was in a state of chaos. And that huge ship did not care about the ordinary natives of the divine realm. Instead, it took a breath of time to arrive above the residence of the Macaw's clan. "Yufeng Jun Shan!" A voice reverberated in the world. It was filled with endless killing intent. The entire high mountain city became silent at that moment. A muscular old man wearing a thick black robe walked out of the ship. He stood in midair. Behind him were 5 God-Emperors. This muscular old man looked at the residents of the Macaw's clan before coldly chuckling. "Yufeng Jun Shan, your death date has arrived. The entire Macaw's clan will be uprooted by me today." Devil Heart. Yufeng Jun Shan also stood above the residence. The entire clan residence was augmented by many arrays. At this moment, his body was covered in layers of light. He was even more dazzling than that master of the Demon Heart Society. Yufeng Jun Shan furiously roared out, "You want to exterminate my Macaw's clan? Humph, let's see how many of the experts you brought today can survive. You are overestimating yourself too much." The muscular old man announced, "I am Devil Heart. As long as the experts in the high mountain city who aren't from the Macaw's clan don't become enemies with me, I will not make things difficult for them. Today, the Macaw's clan will be exterminated. Don't be so foolish as to accompany them in death." The muscular old man waved his hand. "Move." "Yes." At that moment, the 5 God-Emperors and a large number of God-Monarchs on the ship flew out. They formed many huge combat formations in an extremely orderly manner. They began attacking the residents of the Macaw's clan. The muscular old man, master of the Demon Heart Society, was also acting alone. He was also attacking. Block them. Yufeng Jun Shan took the initiative to welcome the master of the Demon Heart Society. But the entire Macaw's clan residence was protected by arrays. Furthermore, because the area was slightly smaller, and the Macaw's clan did not care about the price to construct new arrays over the past few million years, the arrays of this Macaw's clan residence were sufficiently powerful. Selah. Yufeng Jun Shan would occasionally pass through the arrays of the residents to launch sneak attacks. After that, he would immediately hide back into the arrays. He was controlling the core of the arrays of the residents. Naturally, he could enter and exit the arrays as he pleased. And the master of the Demon Heart Society could not enter before he broke through the arrays. Hong Long Long. The 5 God-Emperors led 300 God-Monarchs into a combat formation. Its power was even stronger than their leader, master of the Demon Heart Society. Even when the master of the Demon Heart Society acted alone, he had close to half the power of his subordinates. Everyone, prepare for battle. Minamoto no Reiki swept his gaze across Bat Mountain Master, Dongbua Shuang, God Monarch Jian and a large number of experts. My Macaw's clan has never mistreated everyone. Now is the time for everyone to serve us. I hope that none of you will betray us at the crucial moment. The moment you betray us, the power of the array will no longer support you. Instead, it will suppress you. The experts of my Macaw's clan will form a combat formation. With the help of the array, killing the traitors will be an easy task. This is a matter of life and death for my Macaw's clan. We will not tolerate any traitors. Many experts felt apprehensive in their hearts. Now, listen to my arrangements. Minamoto no Reiki immediately made the arrangements. He split these non-Macaw's clan experts into combat formations. Every combat formation had a Macaw's clan expert. This way, even if all the other experts in a combat formation betrayed them, because there would be a Macaw's clan expert in the middle, they would not be able to form a perfect combat formation. We can only delay for now. Let's deal with them for now. The expressions of Bat Mountain Master and the others were ugly. Yet they did not dare to rebel. They knew about the God Emperor ranking list. Naturally, they knew how terrifying the master of the Demon Heart Society who was ranked there was. Did they not see how the other party could easily send out 5 God Emperor and 300 God Monarchs? Even if all the experts in High Mountain City were added up, there should be more than 300 God Monarchs. But some did not come today. For instance, the experts from the Heavensville Pavilion or the team from the mysterious Fire Army. Quite a few of them did not listen to the orders of the Macaw's clan. Hong hong hong. Booming sounds could be heard coming from above. Yufeng Jun Shan and other experts from the Macaw's clan would occasionally penetrate through the membrane wall of the array to conduct sneak attacks. Even if they were sneak attacks, the Demon Heart Society still held an absolute advantage. Nevertheless, the entire array was still trembling. Not good. Standing by the entrance of the palace hall, Imperial Wen Jin and Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at the ground. Many places on the ground of the clan residence had started cracking. Clearly, the attacks of the enemies were too powerful, causing some of the arrays to shatter. One had to know that the light barrier was actually formed by stacking several dozens of arrays. As some of the arrays started shattering, the power of the light barrier would become weaker. Little sister. Imperial Wen Jin looked at his little sister. Big brother is useless. He can't protect you. It's nothing much. Nobike's Kiyoshi revealed a grin. Let us stay here and watch father and big brother fight together. Amen. Imperial Wen Jin nodded. They were too weak. It was meaningless for them to participate in the battle. Furthermore, knowing that they would definitely lose this time, the two of them were not willing to hide. Instead, they chose to watch the experts from their clansmen fight together. Hong, following which, many parts of the entire residence started to crack. Quite a number of formations could no longer hold on and shattered. The already dim light barrier in the sky finally rumbled as a huge hole was blasted in it by the 5 God Emperor's battle formation. It broke! Bad Mountain Master and the other experts were panicking. They did not wish to die together with the Macaw's clan. It's here! Nobike's Kiyoshi was nervous. Little sister, watch. Watch father and the rest fight. Second brother Imperial Wen Jin gritted his teeth as he watched. Kill them all! Exterminate the entire Macaw's clan, don't leave a single one alive. The voice of the Demon Heart Society Master resounded throughout the world. Yes. The 5 God Emperor and 300 God Monarchs acknowledged the order. Chapter 1308. Each of the 5 God Emperors led 20 godly monarchs. This was the Demon Heart Society's greatest advantage in attacking the Macaw's clan. The Macaw's clan only had 1 God Emperor early stage Yufeng Junshan. Other than the leader, the Demon Heart Society had a total of 5 God Emperor early stage. When they brought a group of godly monarchs to form a battle formation, they were simply invincible. Even if the Macaw's clan had the help of a formation, the difference between a godly monarch and a God Emperor was too obvious. This was a huge qualitative change. Not everyone could be like an ascender and fight against those of a higher rank. Let's first deal with Yufeng Junshan's children. His eldest son Minamoto no Reiki is quite strong. Currently, there is also a group of experts forming a battle formation. I'll go deal with him. As for his other pair of children, the one called Yufeng Jin and Nobike's Kiyoshi, I'll deal with them. Haha, I'll deal with them quickly. So. The 5 teams moved separately. There were a total of 200 godly monarchs left. These 200 godly monarchs were already prepared and immediately formed a battle formation to attack below. If the Demon Heart Society and Macaw's clan were to unite, they could still rely on the formation to hold on. But once they split up, the Demon Heart Society's experts' advantage was displayed. The teams led by the 5 God Emperor were simply the sharpest fangs. Face the enemy. One of the Macaw's clan's elders roared. Kill. The Macaw's clan's experts roared. All of them carried the thought of fighting to the death. They were incomparably crazy. What, dealing with us right from the start? Imperial Wind Jin and Imperial Wind Qin raised their heads and saw a cold and gloomy man leading a total of 20 god monarchs. They were in a battle formation as they swooped down towards the two of them. The gloomy man was staring at the two siblings. Clearly, his target was the two of them. I wanted to see more of our Macaw's clan killing our enemies. Who would have thought that the moment we arrived, the God Emperor would be the one leading a battle formation against us? Yu Fengjin glanced at his younger sister. Let's go first. Nobike's Kiyoshi faced death calmly. She turned her head and looked around. There were too many people she was familiar with. Her father, her two brothers, some of her sisters in the clan, and her master. Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at Dongbush Shuang and transmitted his voice to him. Master, protect yourself. Dongbush Shuang couldn't help but chuckle when he saw how the young lady was behaving. Nobike's Kiyoshi was stunned. Smile? Master was smiling? Yufeng Junshan, ha, they must be your children! The gloomy man took the initiative to shout. In the distance, Imperial Wind High Mountain was currently being furiously attacked by Devil Heart cultist Master. Even by relying on the strength of the array, he was still at a complete disadvantage. He was barely holding on. Imperial Wind High Mountain also noticed his child standing by the entrance of the palace hall. He could not help but feel his heart aching. Jin or Qinin, the two of you should leave first. In a while, father will come over. But following that, Imperial Wind High Mountain became stunned. Because Dongbush Shuang, who was also standing at the entrance of the hall, was arranged to be a part of the battle formation. However, he didn't care about the battle formation. Instead, he raised his head and looked at the team led by the God Emperor. Dong! Dongbush Shuang took a step forward and stepped on the void. When he took a step in the void, he created a terrifying void storm and it charged forward like a wave. It directly affected the gloomy man and the 20 Sir Gods under him who were charging over with fierce power. Although they had formed a battle formation, Dongbush Shuang had comprehended the laws of profound mysteries. How exquisite were his techniques! Moreover, the Scarlet Cloud battle technique back then already had a way to break battle formations. Now, it was even more complete and powerful. Be careful! The gloomy man's expression changed slightly. Although he was shocked, he was still very confident in the battle formation that he and the 20 god monarchs under him had formed. However, when the void wave struck their battle formation, the power was too strong. They were originally diving down at high speed, but they couldn't help but stop from the shockwave. Moreover, at the moment of collision, a strange wave ignored the defense of the enemy's battle formation and directly penetrated the bodies of the God Emperor and the 20 god monarchs. Pun. 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 The gloomy man felt a strange energy erupting in his body. But being the God Emperor, he cultivated the bloodline energy. Naturally, he could suppress it. But the other 20 god monarchs were forced back. Quite a few of them spurted out blood as they flew backwards. Some of the heavier ones even had more than half their bodies explode. What? The gloomy man was stunned. His subordinates were all heavily injured and sent flying? Only he, the God Emperor, was not sent flying? Just a single step. At the same time when Dongbush Shuang took a step, he no longer concealed his aura. The powerful aura of a chaotic origin refinement body surged into the sky. If not because he had to help his disciple, if he could continue living a peaceful life, he would likely be more willing to live a low-profile life in seclusion. Dongbush Shuang took another step, yet his figure became blurred. Everyone present, including the master of the Demon Heart Society, could not see the figure of Dongbush Shuang clearly. Even if it was slowed down by 1,000,000 times, Dongbush Shuang's figure was still blurred. Because he was executing the movement technique from the Void Devil Insect scripture. With his current realm, he had naturally learned this movement technique. His blurred figure was frighteningly fast. In an instant, he had arrived in front of this gloomy man. Who is he? The gloomy man felt an intense uneasiness. This white-robed young man in front of him made him feel an intense fear. but being an expert at the level of God Emperor, he was confident of himself. With a twist of his body, he transformed into a densely packed thousand-legged black-armored insect. The thousand-legged insect's body was about 100 meters long. It slithered towards Dongbu Shuiying. Its bloody mouth was filled with mucus as it swallowed towards Dongbu Shuiying. This swallow was a terrifying suction force acting on Dongbu Shuiying's body. Pooh! A long spear appeared in Dongbu Shuiying's right hand. The spear was pitch black and looked ordinary. In fact, it was the golden flame divine spear. However, Dongbu Shuiying had disguised it slightly. With the spear in hand. First was a stab. The thousand-legged insect's body wriggled. Although its bloody mouth was about to swallow Dongbu Shuiying, it suddenly swung its tail. A large number of claws flew towards Dongbu Shuiying. The tip of the spear clashed with one of the claws. Trying to fight me head-on? The thousand-legged insect sneered in its heart. Its black carapace was the strongest. It was extremely difficult to break through. Buzz! This stab. Boundless waves surged into its body. Furthermore, these waves surged within its body and split into 3 waves. Furthermore, these waves converged and became even more terrifying. The thousand-legged insect's body started to contort. It wanted to suppress the terrifying waves within its body. However, with a loud boom, its body instantly exploded into 3 pieces. Large amounts of flesh and scales flew everywhere. No! The 3 pieces of the thousand-legged insect's body rapidly merged together. However, it was obvious that its body had shrunk a lot. It didn't dare to transform back into its human form. After all, a human body was much weaker, and it would be harder for it to escape. Pooh! Another stab. Dongbu Shuiying's spear was extremely fast. This stab landed on the thousand-legged insect's body. Although the thousand-legged insect tried to escape, how could it be faster than Dongbu Shuiying? Dongbu Shuiying's blurry figure followed the thousand-legged insect like a shadow. With another stab, the thousand-legged insect's body twisted and shattered. This time, the shattering was even more severe. Destroy! Dongbu Shuiying stabbed again. This time, a huge void bubble appeared. The void bubble enveloped the thousand-legged insect's flesh and blood. Following that, it rapidly collapsed into a black dot and exploded at the tip of the spear. The thousand-legged insect was destroyed. Only some items remained. The entire battlefield was completely silent. The 4 teams led by God Emperor, the Demon Heart Society Master who completely suppressed Yufeng Junshan, Bad Mountain Master, and the other experts who didn't wish to be buried along with him, were all stunned. Although it seemed slow, everything happened too quickly. Dongbu Shuiying took a step forward and sent the enemy God Monarch flying. His powerful aura erupted. With another step, he unleashed 3 consecutive spears. A God Emperor initial stage expert was completely annihilated. This is my master? Nobike's Kiyoshi, who was standing beside her brother, stared blankly. Her mind was in chaos. Chapter 1309. Because there were many desolate beasts in the great wilderness, Nobike's Kiyoshi had practically been living within the high mountain city ever since she was born. Being the daughter of the city master, she was absolutely a proud daughter of heaven. Nobody dared to plot against her within the high mountain city. Growing up in such an environment, she did not show any arrogance. Instead, she had a kind heart. After all, she had lived for a long period. It was almost impossible for her to encounter the dark side, yet she could see the dark side within the city. She understood everything. Her clan was facing an unprecedented calamity. Her father and big brother who had shielded her from the wind and rain in the past were now panicking. She was willing to sacrifice herself. It's just that Easternwood City did not place a girl in their eyes. They were not willing to participate in this matter. She, Nobike's Kiyoshi, could do nothing. She could only watch as the calamity befell her clan. What she could do was to walk towards death together with her elder brother. The array was shattering. The terrifying enemy master of Demon Heart Society was bringing his subordinates over. Death was approaching her like never before. But at this moment, "Teacher?" Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at him in a daze. She felt herself floating. She felt dizzy. "Oh my God! This is God Monarch Feishue? This is madness!" The spectators were all stunned. What? That muscular old man master of Demon Heart Society who could still suppress Yufeng Junshan under the heavy influence of the array felt his heart tightening when Dongbua Shuang took a step and sent a group of God Monarchs flying. Following that, Piercing Wind God Emperor was killed in just 3 spear strikes. How could he be so formidable? That carapace of Piercing Wind God Emperor is incredibly strong. Even I had to use dozens of moves before I could kill him. This white-robed man was killed in just 3 moves? The leader of the Demon Heart Society was shocked. However, he could tell that although the white-clothed man's aura was strong, it was only at the early stage God Emperor realm. Moreover, when Dongbua Shui Ying's spear struck the millipede's body, the millipede's carapace didn't break. Instead, its insides exploded. The carapace is useless. The white-clothed man's attack directly penetrated Seratwin God Emperor's body. Also, the void wave formed by his step was able to send all the Divine Lords flying. Clearly, the defense of a battle formation is useless. The master of the Demon Heart Society was astonished. This kind of utilization of power was truly impressive. Big brother, this white-robed man should be the Sir God Feishue recorded in the intelligence. He is an ascender, but he should clearly have the strength of a middle-stage divine monarch. Middle divine lord? He was clearly at the early stage of God Emperor. Moreover, he's an ascender. The master of the Demon Heart Society understood. An ascender who reached the early stage of God Emperor could absolutely fight against the middle stage God Emperor. Furthermore, ascenders were able to utilize their techniques in a mystical manner. They were unlike the natives of the divine realm who only knew how to use their bloodline power. The master of the Demon Heart Society was startled. Naturally, he would slow down in dealing with Yufeng Junshan. Yufeng Junshan was similarly concerned about the fate of his children. What, God Monarch Feishue, he? Yufeng Junshan was startled. The enemy Seratwin God Emperor who was comparable to him was actually killed in 3 moves. So the strongest expert within the high mountain city isn't me. Instead, it is God Monarch Feishue. No, it should be Feishue God Emperor. At this moment, Yufeng Junshan was filled with wild joy in his heart. He could kill an early stage God Emperor in 3 moves. This was a thick thigh. Hugging onto it. They had to hug onto this thick thigh. By then, the fate of their Makaz clan could be changed. Various parties had different thoughts. But all of them were shocked by the strength of Dongbua Shuang. Humph. Dongbua Shuang did not stop after killing a God Emperor. He turned his gaze towards one of the 4 God Emperors under the master of the Demon Heart Society. That was an ugly gray-robed male who was shrouded in a grayish-white aura. He was originally leading 20 God Monarchs in a combat formation to kill the experts of the Makaz clan. After seeing Dongbua Shuang, this gray-robed male could not help but turn over. So, Dongbua Shui Ying's figure moved. He once again executed the Void Devil Insect Body technique. His figure became blurred, yet his speed was incredibly fast. He charged towards that gray-robed male. Not good. The expression of that gray-robed male changed. He did not hesitate to retreat. Everyone retreat! When the master of the Demon Heart Society saw this, he became anxious. He shouted and transmitted his voice. Feishue God Emperor, if you have the guts, fight with me! As he spoke, he wanted to save his subordinates. After all, he only had a total of 5 God Emperors under him. One of them had already been killed. If he were to continue killing, even if he managed to destroy the Makaz clan, how many God Emperors would be able to survive? Furthermore, this Ascender God Emperor, although he was only an early-stage God Emperor, his techniques were strange and unfathomable. Against an ordinary early-stage God Emperor, it was as easy as chopping vegetables. Trying to escape? Yufeng Junshan was doing his best to delay. He even controlled the formation to suppress the master of the Demon Heart Society. How can he be so fast? The gray-robed male who was fleeing had an ugly expression. The blurred figure behind him seemed to be closing in on him in a blink of an eye. It was too fast. Who? Shuang coldly looked at the escaping gray-robed male. Just as he was prepared to act, the grayish-white aura surrounding the gray-robed male in front of him suddenly expanded. Without a sound, his body took the initiative to scatter, turning into a dense grayish-white aura that escaped in all directions. This was one of the 5 God Emperors under the command of the Master of the Demon Heart Society, the Ghost Flame God Emperor. He was the one with the heaviest killing intent and the most evil. Right now, he was so frightened by Dongwu Shuang that he turned into a ghost flame body and attempted to flee. Destroy. Dongwu Shuang raised his spear with both hands and furiously slashed. Boom! Under the furious slash, the space in front of him was suddenly flattened. This is Ghost Flame God Emperor, who was fleeing in all directions after turning into a gray-white ghost flame, felt the surrounding space rapidly transforming. It was rapidly being flattened, turning from an ordinary space into a 2-dimensional space. It was like a piece of paper. Under the suppression, the original height of the ghost flame was being suppressed and was about to be erased. Ghost Flame God Emperor was doing his best to struggle. He had a feeling that if he was completely flattened into a piece of paper, he would be dead for sure. That's right. The current realm of Dongwu Shuang naturally far surpassed that of his teacher, Southern Cloud King. This spectacular painting was far stronger than before. Furthermore, this move of Dongwu Shuang wasn't used to trap the enemy. Instead, it was used to kill the enemy. Naturally, he was merciless. He wanted to suppress and kill the enemy. Hong hong hong. Countless ghost flames were struggling. They were constantly being erased and consumed. Finally, the crazily flattened space finally dissipated. Ghost Flame God Emperor still had quite a lot of ghost flames remaining. He felt joyous in his heart and wanted to escape. But at the same time, when the flattened space collapsed, a terrifying spear smashed in front of him. Hong! The entire space in front of him was like a piece of tofu. It exploded from the pressure. The remnant ghost flames of Ghost Flame God Emperor within this space were directly extinguished along with this terrifying explosion. Not even dregs were left behind. This move was known as Arch Destruction. Spectacular painting, Arch Destruction, these were the moves that Southern Cloud King was famous for. Dongwu Shuang had improved on this foundation, allowing these 2 techniques to be perfectly fused together. One technique suppressed the enemy within a space, and the other directly caused the entire space to shatter. The power of these 2 techniques was even greater when they were fused together. It was mainly because Dongwu Shuang saw the body of this God Emperor turning into gray-white ghost flame. That was why he felt that these 2 techniques of this minor domain were most suitable for him. Another one died! Heaven! Hurry up and escape! The other 3 God Emperor subordinates under the Master of Demon Heart Society were truly frightened. The crucial point was that Dongwu Shuang killed one who had the strongest physical defense, and the other who turned his body into ghost flame. One died in 3 moves, and the other died in 2 moves. The remaining 3 God Emperor asked themselves if they could survive more than 3 moves against this Feishui God Emperor. How could such an expert appear in this high mountain city? Hurry up and escape! These 3 God Emperor fled in different directions. Damn! A furious roar could be heard. The Master of Demon Heart Society took the initiative to rush towards Dongwu Shuang. He had finally escaped from Yufeng Junshan, yet Dongwu Shuang killed the Ghost Flame God Emperor too quickly. He could not make it in time. Feishu God Emperor, if you are daring, fight with me! The hair of the Master of Demon Heart Society danced in the wind. He seemed to have gone mad, and his power was overflowing. Dongwu Shuang looked at the 3 God Emperor who had escaped far away. He then turned to the Master of Demon Heart Society. He held on to his spear with a single hand, saying, "As you wish!" Chapter 13:10. His voice was still reverberating. Dongbu Shui Ying's figure had already turned blurry. He once again executed the Void Devil Insect Body technique and flew up into the sky. Wielding his spear, he charged towards that Demon Heart Society master. Good timing! The Demon Heart Society master had long been suppressing his anger. At this moment, his killing intent was soaring. He extended both palms, causing endless frost to envelop Dongbu Shui. Even space was being frozen inch by inch. A layer of frost had condensed on the surface of the Demon Heart Society master's body. This frost energy was much more tyrannical than Bat Mountain Master's. Even before Dongbu Shui touched it, he felt that something was amiss. He felt that he must not be frozen. He immediately spun the spear in his hand. Hua hua hua! The spear had spun, forming many maelstrom. Layers of revolving space spread out in all directions, blocking against that frightening frost energy. This was much more formidable than the survival technique that Dongbu Shui created in the past, the Myriad Realms movement technique. Dongbu Shui had absorbed some profound mysteries from Realmless, adding his current realm. That was how he created this spear technique. That frost energy had been weakened by layers. When it reached where Dongbu Shui was, even though it was still powerful, it was negligible to Dongbu Shui, who specialized in voidification with his chaotic origin refined body. What? The expression of the Demon Heart Society master changed. This Feishui God Emperor could actually resist against the frost energy and appear before him. South! The incoming Dongbu Shui abruptly pierced out with the revolving spear in his hand towards the Demon Heart Society master. The Demon Heart Society master only felt the void distorting. He had a feeling that this spear could not be dodged at all. I feel disdain from dodging. Die for me! The master of the Demon Heart Society's pair of fists erupted with destructive power. His fists were even dark red in color. With a loud bang, he punched forward. When he punched out, his fists rapidly enlarged. His two fists were like two small mountains as they rumbled and crushed toward the spearhead. Dongbu Shui was already clear that this master of the Demon Heart Society had an amazing fleshy body. Previously, when he broke apart the protective array of the high mountain city, he had used a single hand to expand to several kilometers long before shattering it. But Dongbu Shui had been wanting to find an opponent to test out his technique ever since he cultivated in the high mountain city. Boom! The spear stabbed into the fists that were like two mountains. Dongbu Shui Ying's face changed. He could feel a powerful force coursing through the spear into his body. Even though he had tried his best to weaken it with his void form, the force was still relentless. Like a volcano, Dongbu Shui was sent flying back a few hundred meters before he came to a stop. His expression was slightly ugly. Opening his mouth, he spat out a mouthful of blood. This fleshy body of mine is at the early stage of the God Emperor realm. By relying on the profoundness of techniques, I can unleash an even greater power. I can also use my killing moves against the weaknesses of my enemies. I can easily kill those at the same level. But against a middle-stage God Emperor, even if his techniques are slightly foolish, his power is sufficiently strong. I will still suffer some losses if I fight him head-on. Dongbu Shui thought. Amen? And the master of the Demon Heart Society who stood unmoving in midair was similarly not having a good time. That spear of Dongbu Shui was a killing move he used against Piercing Wind God Emperor. It disregarded all defenses and directly transmitted into the body of the master of the Demon Heart Society. The turbulent ripple engulfed the body of the master of the Demon Heart Society, becoming bigger and bigger. Furthermore, it converged to the limit before erupting. For example, Piercing Wind God Emperor's thousand-legged worm body exploded from the inside. The master of the Demon Heart Society's fleshy body was stronger, both inside and outside. The explosion from the inside caused the master of the Demon Heart Society to feel a sweet taste in his throat. He forcefully swallowed a mouthful of blood. My frost body protection actually didn't block him at all. The master of the Demon Heart Society thought. The layer of frost on the surface of his body was his strongest defensive move. But against Dongbu Shui, this move was completely useless. At this moment, he could feel how bizarre and ruthless the moves of the Ascender God Emperor were. Again. The master of the Demon Heart Society roared as he charged forward. Again. Donghua Shuang charged forward as well. This time, Donghua Shuang would not foolishly clash head-on. He executed the Void Devil Insect Body technique. His figure became blurred as he strangely revolved around the master of the Demon Heart Society. He relied on the advantage of his body technique to attack again and again. All sorts of Tao of Void techniques were executed consecutively. He was searching for the most effective killing move against this master of the Demon Heart Society. And the master of the Demon Heart Society was also frantically fighting back. This time, he had already lost 2 great God Emperor subordinates. No matter what, he could not give up so easily. Hong hong hong! The master of the Demon Heart Society was incomparably violent. The surrounding cold aura was spreading in all directions. Nevertheless, the attacks he unleashed from his hands, feet, and other parts of his body contained a terrifying blazing energy. Die! The master of the Demon Heart Society was completely mad. He had even transformed into a towering giant that was 5 kilometers tall. He even slapped both his palms against the ant-like Donghua Shuang. This time, one palm was covered in frost, and the other in blazing flames. When both palms clapped together, it produced an enormous sound that shook the entire high mountain city. The master of the Demon Heart Society was also anxious. Even though his power was increased by 50%, his speed and nimbleness were clearly affected. For the sake of victory, the master of the Demon Heart Society was thinking of all possible methods. Watching the Demon Heart Society master who was 5 kilometers tall fighting against Donghua Shuang, the master of the Demon Heart Society had already flown out of the Macaw's clan's residence. Because he was within the array, he was constantly being suppressed by the energy of the array. Many experts within the Macaw's clan's residence felt their hearts trembling. He is indeed someone who could be ranked in the God Emperor ranking list. Yu Feng Junshan felt his heart trembling. If not for Fei Xue God Emperor, even if I have the help of the array, I would still die under the suppression of an old thief and devil heart an old thief. This is Brother Fei Xue. Bat Mountain Master felt nervous. My Bat Mountain has actually sent an expert to assassinate Brother Fei Xue? He felt a wave of lingering fear. Fortunately, he challenged God Monarch Fei Xue on the battle platform within the Macaw's clan's residence. Only the victor was decided, and no lives were lost. Fortunately, he apologized to the other party. That damn Tai Ching Lu. At this moment, Bat Mountain Master could not help but curse the dead Tai Ching Lu in his heart. Teacher Fei Xue. Imperial Wen Jin looked up before turning to his little sister by his side. And there were some experts within High Mountain City who did not participate in the battle like Xing Luzhu from Heaven's Will Pavilion and God Monarch Chuan Qing from the mysterious Fire Army. They were also watching the battle from afar, watching the battle between the towering giant and Fei Xue God Emperor above the Macaw's clan's residence. Brother Fei Xue is actually so powerful. He isn't a God Monarch, but God Emperor. God Monarch Chuan Qing watched with a sigh. He is indeed an ascendant God Emperor. Even though the leader of the Demon Heart Society is using his full strength, Brother Fei Xue isn't at a disadvantage at all. And Xing Luzhu from Heaven's Will Pavilion was watching from afar. He held onto a book with one hand. This book was naturally recording the battle scenes and large amounts of words. Heaven's Will Pavilion had collected intelligence from various places and even created the God Emperor ranking list. The master of the Demon Heart Society was an expert on the God Emperor ranking list. Such a battle was naturally important, because it involved a change in the ranking of the God Emperor ranking list. Who would have thought that there would be a day where a person from a remote city like the High Mountain City, would be responsible for recording a battle that involves a change in the ranking of the God Emperor ranking list? Xing Luzhu was slightly nervous. As he recorded the battle scenes, he also wrote down his views. The Fei Xue God Emperor's movement technique is amazing. He is much faster than the master of the Demon Heart Society. He has completely grasped the initiative, and many of his techniques are formidable and profound. Nonetheless, he can't deal against the Master of the Demon Heart Society. Even though the Master of the Demon Heart Society is using his full strength and is incredibly powerful, he can't hit the Fei Shui God Emperor at all. Under Devil Heart Cultist Master's subordinates, the 3 surviving God Emperors had already escaped to the sky. They flew up to the big ship and stood on it to observe the battle below. Almost. The 3 of them looked at each other. They were filled with lingering fear. They did not dare to participate in the battle because the combat formation was clearly useless against this Fei Shui God Emperor. The offensive techniques of the Fei Shui God Emperor could disregard defenses and directly permeate into their bodies. They did not dare to have a taste of it. Various parties held their breaths as they watched the battle. And the Master of the Demon Heart Society was already feeling slightly anxious. Ho! The towering Master of the Demon Heart Society opened his mouth, spitting out a sphere of ice and fire. The expression of Dongwu Shuang changed slightly. He immediately retreated. At the same time, he lightly tapped out with his spear. An unseen ripple clashed against that sphere of ice and fire. With a boom, a terrifying explosion occurred. It's useless. Everything is useless. Even if I transform my body to its pinnacle state, even though I can execute stronger techniques, I can't touch him at all. The Master of the Demon Heart Society was incomparably furious. He originally felt that this Fei Shui God Emperor was too slippery. After becoming bigger, he felt even more uneasy. He felt sullen and uneasy. Dongwu Shuang also muttered in his heart. It seems like it is still impossible for an early-stage God Emperor to defeat a middle-stage God Emperor expert. That's right. No one in the entire deity world could do it. Of course, it would be a different story if he used his Mirage and Illusory Realm technique. But that would no longer be his Tao of Void Strength. Furthermore, there were many experts here. The Master of the Demon Heart Society was also very powerful. Even if his strength was greatly affected by his Illusory Realm technique, he would not directly fall into oblivion. As long as he maintained his consciousness, he would be able to spread the news of his Mirage and Illusory Realm technique to the outside world. Looking at the Broken Teeth mountain range, the moment he used his Mirage and Illusory Realm technique, it caused the entire Broken Teeth mountain range to tremble. In this world, if his soul technique was exposed, it would be hard for him to live a peaceful life. Furthermore, there were many experts in this world. He did not wish to expose his Mirage and Illusory Realm technique for now. South. The body of the Master of the Demon Heart Society rapidly shrunk. In the blink of an eye, he regained his original appearance. He swept his gaze across to the distant Yufeng Junshan and coldly roared. Yufeng Junshan, you are really lucky. This time, there is an Ascendant God Emperor who is willing to help you. But I do want to see if this Ascendant God Emperor will stay and protect your high mountain city forever. Yufeng Junshan felt his heart trembling at that moment. That's right. How could an Ascendant God Emperor, an expert like him, stay forever in this desolate little city like the high mountain city? There is also the Fei Shui God Emperor. The Master of the Demon Heart Society turned to Dongwu Shuang and sneered. Very good. I can't do anything to you. I, Demon Heart, will remember this enmity. Humph. Laughing angrily, the Master of the Demon Heart Society turned around and was about to leave. You want to leave? Dongwu Shuang instead said. Are you afraid so soon? Afraid? The Master of the Demon Heart Society was furious. He turned to Dongwu Shuang. It was clear that he was the stronger one in this battle. It was just that this ascendant was too slippery. But following that, the expression of the Master of the Demon Heart Society changed. Because the aura of Dongwu Shuang was rising. Previously, it was clear that the God Emperor was at the early stage. But at this moment, one could see the arms of Dongwu Shuang becoming thicker. Furthermore, many layers of black membrane appeared on the surface of his arms. His aura had also become violent and unstable. Dongwu Shuang, who had a pair of thick arms, appeared tall and sturdy. His aura was violent and powerful. Unless he isn't using his full strength previously? The master of the Demon Heart Society felt his heart trembling. Chapter 13:11. Dongbu Shuang nodded inwardly when he felt the explosive power in his arms. Because his chaotic origin refinement body had already reached the early stage Emperor realm, early stage God Emperor, and the realm Heart Great Land. It was just that it was not stable. After coming to this world, with Dongbu Shui Ying's talent and the comprehension of scriptures written by experts in this world, it was relatively easy for him to push his strength back to the early stage God Emperor realm. Furthermore, he had stabilized his strength. Furthermore, because he had cultivated his strength back in a different civilization, his understanding of the Tao had deepened. He had many ideas on how to reach the middle stage God Emperor realm. He had even pondered over several versions of his chaotic origin refinement body, allowing him to barely reach the middle stage God Emperor realm. It's just that it was not stable. His path was different from the creators of Realmless and Heaven and Earth. The scriptures written by other experts were merely supplementary to him. It was too difficult for him to create his own path to the middle stage God Emperor realm. After all, he was not like those with chaotic origin ancestral god bloodlines who could continuously improve as long as they dug out the potential of their bloodline. He had to rely on himself to improve step by step. Such an incomparably sturdy foundation allowed ascendants to fight against those of a higher level in this world. Even though it is unstable and my body is constantly being consumed, my body is constantly recovering. But my body is constantly recovering. With my chaotic origin refinement body, I should be able to last for an hour. Dongbu Shuang thought. According to this consumption rate, even if he did not battle, he would only be left with 30% of his life force after an hour. This was also the limit of his life. Under the conflict of the laws of this world, he had never succeeded in cultivating teleportation or avatar technique. Without the avatar technique, he naturally had to do his best to protect the only avatar he had in this world. An hour is sufficient. Dongbu Shui Ying's aura surged. He wielded the black spear with a single hand and took a step towards the master of the Demon Heart Society. His aura has greatly increased. It is much stronger than before. Unless he has reached the middle stage God Emperor realm? The master of the Demon Heart Society felt very uneasy. He is an ascender. If he really has the strength of a mid-stage God Emperor, then he should be able to match a late-stage God Emperor. He might even be able to kill me. Oh no, he's here. The corner of the Demon Heart Society's master's eyes twitched. Dongbu Shui Ying's blurry figure was charging towards him at an extremely fast speed. You must be using some kind of forbidden technique. You won't be able to hold on for long. The master of the Demon Heart Society roared as he observed Dongbu Shui Ying's expression. At the same time, he raised his hands to block Dongbu Shui Ying's spear. Hua! The leader of the Demon Heart Society extended her palms, and in front of her was a strange layer of ice, a layer of fire. There were 3 layers of ice and 3 layers of fire. This was the first time the master of the Demon Heart Society went all out against Dongbu Shuang. Previously, it was the master of the Demon Heart Society who went all out against Dongbu Shuang. The master of the Demon Heart Society no longer dared to go all out against Dongbu Shuang. He was afraid that with his spear, he would be heavily injured. 2 or 3 spears and he would die. If he was really a mid-stage ascender, it was completely possible for a mid-stage God Emperor realm God Emperor to do this. Hence, he went all out to defend. Pooh! The spear pierced through the outermost layer of fire. A terrifying shockwave rapidly penetrated through the 6 layers of obstruction, penetrated through the ice protection on the body of the master of the Demon Heart Society, and entered the body of the Demon Heart Society's master. However, the strength of the spear was reduced by 20%. This all-out defensive move of the master of the Demon Heart Society was still quite impressive. The master of the Demon Heart Society widened his eyes. He felt a shockwave that was 3 times stronger than before surging violently in his body. Finally, it converged and exploded. Previously, he was able to endure it, but after becoming 3 times stronger. Pooh! The master of the Demon Heart Society couldn't endure it anymore. He opened his mouth, and blood spurted out, along with pieces of his internal organs. His skin started to crack. He looked at Dongbu Shuang with fear. It was really a mid-stage God-Emperor realm. How can this be? Go! The master of the Demon Heart Society had a feeling that with such an attack, 3 spears wouldn't be able to take his life. However, 10 spears would be enough. In a life-and-death battle like this, what did 10 spears count for? Under the threat of death, the master of the Demon Heart Society didn't hesitate to turn around and flee. So, the frost energy revolved around him. He was even suppressing the speed of Shuang, who was behind him. The surface of Devil Heart Cultist Master's body had turned crimson. He was like a meteor that was madly flying towards that huge ship high up in the sky. There were 3 God Emperors and a group of God Monarchs on that ship. He believed that they should be able to delay this Feishui God Emperor for some time. Do you think you can escape? Dongbu Shuang took a step. His figure became blurred. Even though his chaotic origin refinement body mainly relied on his arms, it only increased his strength. It was negligible in terms of speed. However, when he executed the Void Devil Insect movement technique and broke through the influence of the cold air, his speed was still faster than Devil Heart Cultist Master. What? This, hurry up and flee! Split up and flee! The 3 God Emperors and a large group of God Monarchs who were originally on the ship were watching the battle. They thought that they had failed this time. Their leader couldn't deal with that Feishui God Emperor, and that Feishui God Emperor couldn't deal with their leader too. The leader would return to the ship and leave together with them. But the moment this Feishui God Emperor erupted with his strength, he could heavily injure the master of the Demon Heart Society in a single move. Clearly, the strength of both parties was on a completely different level. The gap was clear. Even though it wasn't as clean as how Dongbu Shuang killed the early-stage God Emperor previously, Dongbu Shuang should be able to kill their leader without too many moves. Hurry up and scatter! Run! The 3 early-stage God Emperor experts and the group of God Monarchs were so frightened that they scattered in different directions. They did not wish to die together with the leader. The expression of the Demon Heart Society Master who was escaping towards the ship changed. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Now that he, the big tree, was about to fall, his subordinates would naturally flee. They were not willing to delay for him. Hong, behind him, Dongbu Shuang had already hacked down with his spear. Even though there was still some distance between them, the surrounding space suddenly compressed. It was precisely this spectacular painting technique. The master of the Demon Heart Society could only feel the space around him rapidly being compressed. It was about to erase the height of his fleshy body and kill him directly. The master of the Demon Heart Society was doing his best to resist. But that terrifying spear, under the unique laws and profound mysteries, was able to completely suppress his strength through space. Clearly, after the chaotic origin refinement body became stronger, this technique became stronger. Pu. The master of the Demon Heart Society was squashed. Many wounds appeared on his body, causing blood to splatter everywhere. This space that was about to be compressed into a piece of paper was about to collapse. But Dongbu Shuang immediately followed up with the arch destruction. Pun! Another spear smashed down furiously. The space that was originally flattened and about to collapse completely exploded under this spear strike, shattering the vault of heaven. Hong! And the master of the Demon Heart Society who was in the space could only feel everything around him shattering. His body was also being torn apart under this terrifying force. The layer of frost on the surface of his body was doing his best to resist against it. His hands were also trying their best to resist against it, yet he could not withstand it. Amidst the explosion, he gave up on the lower half of his body. Everything from his waist down was shattered. His upper body was barely able to maintain its shape. Under the protection of both his hands, this upper body flew out of the exploded space. The moment he flew out, his injuries were recovering at the fastest speed. But his life force had been depleted by close to half. This was something that could not be recovered in a short period. At the same time, the master of the Demon Heart Society could not care anymore. Under his terror, he flipped his hand and took out a strange tree branch. This was a keepsake given to him by Hidden Willow Valley Master. It was also a life-saving treasure given by Hidden Willow Valley Master to the experts under him. This life-saving treasure would be gone after he used it. With the identity of Hidden Willow Valley Master, he would disdain to give it a second time unless he contributed greatly. Hence, the master of the Demon Heart Society would rather let all his subordinates die than to use this most precious life-saving treasure. But now, he could no longer care about it. If he did not use it, he would be killed by this Feishui God Emperor. 1. This tree branch suddenly erupted with a powerful force. It engulfed the master of the Demon Heart Society. So! He directly turned into a dark green light. With a frightening speed, he flew towards the horizon. His flying speed was a few times faster than before. It far surpassed the Void Devil insect body technique executed by Dongbua Shuiying. Escaping? Even though Dongbua Shuiying's speed was significantly slower, he still turned into a blurred figure. He chased after the other party. One fled and the other chased. In the blink of an eye, they flew out of the high mountain city and disappeared into the distant great wilderness. The experts in the high mountain city were watching in a daze. Including Yufeng Junshan, they were slightly dazed. This transformation was too fast. The moment this master of Feishui erupted with his strength, he had heavily injured the master of the Demon Heart Society in a single move, forcing him to flee in terror. The second and third moves had shattered the body of the master of the Demon Heart Society, leaving only his upper body behind. Following that, the master of the Demon Heart Society took out a strange tree branch and used a strange technique to increase his speed before escaping. Master Feishui also chased after him out of the high mountain city into the depths of the great wilderness. The battle happened too quickly. Everyone present felt dizzy. Just thinking about what the previous scenes signified made them tremble, and their legs turned soft. Chapter 13:12. Even Heavens Will Pavilion. Xing Lu Zhu, who was experienced in recording the entire battle, felt his throat turning dry. He muttered to himself, "One move to heavily injure the master of the Demon Heart Society, and 3 moves to shatter the body of the master of the Demon Heart Society. It seems that he is a middle-stage God Emperor Ascendant, and his strength should be comparable to a late-stage God Emperor." What did it signify to be comparable to a late-stage God Emperor? Many experts in High Mountain City understood. For instance, that city master of Easternwood City who had a noble identity was a late-stage God Emperor. Previously, Yufeng Junshan thought of ways to marry his daughter to the 9th Prince of Easternwood City. Even though he sent many gifts and sought the help of Easternwood City Master through some higher-ups in Easternwood City, in reality, the emissaries sent out by High Mountain City were not even qualified to meet the Easternwood City Master. Even in the entire Divine Realm, a late-stage God Emperor was an overlord of a region. Even the 3 great royal clans had to treat him with respect. A middle-stage Ascendant of God Emperor and a late-stage God Emperor Ascendant could cripple Devil Heart, an old thief who was ranked on the God Emperor ranking list, in 3 moves. Yufeng Junshan felt his heart trembling. An old thief Devil Heart was ranked in the top 1,000 in the entire Divine Realm. And he was crippled in 3 moves. One could see how frightening Teacher Feishui was. What a great opportunity! My daughter Kiyoshi could actually become a disciple of such an expert. Furthermore, she has even saved my entire Maka's clan. Yufeng Junshan turned to his daughter, Nobike's Kiyoshi. The 2 brothers, Minamoto no Raiki and Imperial Wind Jin, could not help but turn to their little sister. The 2 of them felt envious and happy for their little sister. Late-stage God Emperor combat strength. Heaven! Such an expert actually chose to live in seclusion in our high mountain city? All the experts were horrified. This kind of strength was so strong that they could only look up to him. After all, in any place in the immortal realm, God Emperor's late-stage battle prowess would be considered a super expert. I wonder if Senior Feishue will be able to kill the leader of the Demon Heart Society if he chases after him. Many experts were looking at the direction where the leader of the Demon Heart Society and Dongbua Shuang had fled to. They could no longer see the silhouette of De Huang in the distance. Their speed was simply too fast. Hoo hoo hoo, the wind was howling. The master of the Demon Heart Society was flying at an astonishing speed under the cover of the dark green light. His body had been completely restored, but of course, this was only on the surface. It would take a long time for his life force to be replenished. With the treasures the Valley Lord bestowed upon me, my current speed is so fast that not even most late-stage God Emperors can catch up to me. I'm much faster than that Feishue God Emperor. The master of the Demon Heart Society looked behind him. At least, he could no longer see the other party with his naked eyes. But he did not dare to be slow. He continued flying at full speed. After flying for the time taken to brew a cup of tea, the dark green light on the surface of his body finally dissipated. The master of the Demon Heart Society looked at the tree branch in his hand. At this moment, the tree branch had already disintegrated into powder. This treasure had been completely consumed. After such a long time, I should have left him far behind. The master of the Demon Heart Society had this thought in his heart. But he continued flying at full speed. He did not even bring out his battleship or other treasures. Even though the battleship and other treasures did not require him to control them, their flying speed could not compare to his current speed. Within the great wilderness, Dongbua Shuang had long controlled his fleshy body, altering the particle structure of his fleshy body. He had regained the stable state of his chaotic origin refinement body. He was currently sitting cross-legged on a piece of rock in the great wilderness. He was currently drinking wine from a flask of wine. Since the other party had escaped so quickly, he would not be foolish enough to chase after him. How tiring would that be? His speed has become slower. It seems the energy of the treasure has been consumed. Dongbua Shuang could sense the approximate location of the master of the Demon Heart Society through his tracing technique. After all, the karma between the two was not small. Wait a while more. Even with my Void Devil Insect Body technique, it will still take a while before I can catch up to him. Dongbua Shuang estimated that it was about time. He continued drinking wine. It is about time. Time to set off. Dongbua Shuang flipped his hand and kept the flask of wine. His arms began turning thick. Layers of black membrane appeared on the surface of his arms. His aura once again became violent and unstable. Extending his right hand, a black spear appeared in his hand. See! A black crack appeared by the side. Dongbua Shuang flashed and entered it. Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique. Although the master of the Demon Heart Society was fleeing with all his might, the distance between them was not that far. After all, he was merely flying. Using the Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique to chase after him was simply overkill. Dongbua Shuang could not be bothered to use the Void Devil Insect Body technique to chase after him. See! Emerging from the black crack, Dongbua Shuang sensed the location of the master of the Demon Heart Society. Only then did he execute the Void Devil Insect Body technique. His figure turned blurry as he rapidly chased after him. In just 10 breaths of time, the escaping master of the Demon Heart Society saw a tiny figure chasing after him. It was the spear-wielding Feishue God Emperor. He has caught up. The master of the Demon Heart Society was extremely furious. I have already left him behind so far. Yet he still refuses to let me go and is still chasing after me? There was no helping it. Dongbua Shuang had already reached the final realm in the Tao of Void. He had also reached an unprecedented realm in the Tao of Soul. His soul had even fused with a droplet of myriad tentacles dragon mother core blood. When he was still a level 2 cosmos god, Emperor Summer could not even track him down, much less now. In this world, only the 3 chaotic origin experts who created this world could track down Dongbua Shuang. So. Even though the master of the Demon Heart Society was fleeing with all his might, the figure of Dongbua Shuang was getting closer and closer. That blurred figure was also getting bigger and bigger in his vision. You can't escape, Dongbu Shuang said. Face you, God Emperor, I have no grievances with you. You have also killed 2 of my subordinates, the God Emperors. How about we just end things here? I can swear an oath that I will never come to High Mountain City ever again. I will never take revenge on the Macaw's clan ever again. As the master of the Demon Heart Society was escaping, he was anxiously begging for mercy. No grievances with you? Dongbu Shuang shook his head. Why do I remember you saying something like I, Demon Heart, will remember this enmity back in High Mountain City? The master of the Demon Heart Society felt bitter in his heart. That was then and this was now. Face you, God Emperor, please spare my life. I'll agree to whatever you say. The master of the Demon Heart Society anxiously begged for mercy. Because Dongbu Shuang was already close to him. What replied him was a cold spear thrust from Dongbu Shuang. A spear thrust out. The surrounding void wrapped around the master of the Demon Heart Society like a bubble. It rapidly collapsed into a black dot. The master of the Demon Heart Society was rapidly shrinking within this bubble. He was furious and in despair. Why was he so unlucky? Why was this Feishui God Emperor not willing to spare his life? Just a few moves later, the master of the Demon Heart Society was directly crushed into powder within the violent space, leaving behind only some items. Dongbu Shuang waved his hand to keep them. Humph! Dongbu Shuang snorted coldly. Why did he keep chasing after this master of the Demon Heart Society? Why did he not give this master of the Demon Heart Society a path of survival? Because he could sense that the karma on the master of the Demon Heart Society was heavy. Many karmic ties filled with grievances were entangling around the master of the Demon Heart Society. Facing such a great devil, Dongbu Shuang would naturally be ruthless. The master of the Demon Heart Society called himself Devil Heart. He did things without any restrictions. After becoming enemies with Yufeng Junshan, he wanted to exterminate the entire Macaw's clan. One could see his character. The Demon Heart Society has eliminated the leader, killed 2 God Emperor, and 3 escaped. That should be enough. Dongbu Shuang chuckled. He then began his journey back. He did not continue to chase after them. With his great world-breaching teleportation technique, he could easily hide and change his aura. His enemies would not be able to track him down. Changing his identity to chase after the 3 God Emperor was a piece of cake. However, in essence, Dongbu Shuang could not tolerate those great devils. He could not be bothered to get involved in the life and death battles of ordinary cultivators. The leader of the Demon Heart Society, and the 5 God Emperor. The ones who were truly great devils were the master of the Demon Heart Society, and the even more ferocious Ghost Flame God Emperor. In the past, when Dongbu Shuang killed Piercing Wind God Emperor, that Piercing Wind God Emperor was slightly sinister. He wanted to deal with the weakest Nobike's Kiyoshi first. Only then did Dongbu Shuang eliminate him. After that, Dongbu Shuang chose to kill that Ghost Flame God Emperor precisely because he saw that the other party was shrouded in karmic resentment. It was even worse than the master of the Demon Heart Society. Naturally, Dongbu Shuang would not show any mercy. Those 3 who escaped belonged to the ordinary standard in the divine realm. They did not have the temperament of slaughtering wantonly. Instead, they fought and killed normally. Actually, in this divine realm, due to the vastness of the great wilderness, most people lived within the cities. Hence, there were very few massacres. Those 3 God Emperor escaped. Yet they did not know that the reason why they survived was because the karmic resentment they accumulated was not too much. High Mountain City. Finally, a blurred figure flew over rapidly from afar. A large group of experts had already gathered within the residence of the Macaw's clan. Even Xing Luzhu from the Heavenswell Pavilion, God Monarch Chuanqing from the mysterious Fire Army, and others were here. They were all looking up in anticipation. When they saw that white-robed figure appear, they felt their hearts trembling in excitement. After all, this was a terrifying late-stage God Emperor. Who? Dongbu Shuang descended. Face you, God Emperor. Senior Feishue! Teacher Feishue! At that moment, all sorts of greetings were given. Dongwu Shuang swept his gaze across before nodding. Devil Heart God Emperor has been killed by me! Yufeng Junshan, Xing Luzhu, and the others who were present felt their hearts tightening. Even though they could not find the karmic connection of the Master of the Demon Heart Society and guessed that the Master of the Demon Heart Society might have died, when it came out from the mouth of Dongwu Shuang, they still felt heavy in their hearts. That was ultimately an ultra-strong expert ranked on the God Emperor list, yet he was killed just like that. Teacher! Nobike's Kiyoshi walked closer and shouted out. Dongwu Shuang looked at his disciple and revealed a smile. Kiyoshi, this matter has been resolved. You don't have to worry anymore. The surrounding people looked at Nobike's Kiyoshi with envy. They could feel that this Ascender God Emperor obviously treated his disciple Nobike's Kiyoshi differently. Most likely this time, he acted because of his disciple. Senior Feishue! Yufeng Junshan shamelessly said. This time, Senior has saved my entire Macaws clan. My Macaws clan is truly unable to repay you. Enough. Dongwu Shuang interrupted. I still have some matters to attend to when I return. I won't be accompanying you all. Kiyoshi, follow me. Yes, teacher. Nobike's Kiyoshi obediently replied. Dongwu Shuang turned and left. He wasn't in the mood to chat with this group of people. This is a huge backing. Yufeng Junshan looked at Dongwu Shuang and his daughter Nobike's Kiyoshi as they left. He couldn't help but feel excited. He definitely had to hold on to this thick thigh tightly. He, Yufeng Junshan, had never had the chance to come into contact with such a thick thigh before. Amongst the surrounding experts, Xing Luzhu held onto a book and continued to record. Unable to trace the karma of the Master of the Demon Heart Society, Feishue God Emperor flew back from the great wilderness. He said that the Demon Heart God Emperor had been killed by him. This news was quickly reported upwards. Xing Luzhu was extremely excited because the God Emperor leaderboard would definitely change because of this. Chapter 13:13. Night. Within a palace hall within the residence of the Macaws clan, Yufeng Junshan, Housekeeper Tong, the three elders of the Macaws clan, and the brothers Minamoto no Raiki and Imperial Wind Jin were currently gathered here. Master, Third Lady has returned. An expert entered the palace hall and reported respectfully. The eyes of Yufeng Junshan, Minamoto no Raiki, Imperial Wind Jin, Housekeeper Tong, and the three elders brightened. Yufeng Junshan even ordered, "All right, you can withdraw." They had been waiting for a long time. When Nobike's Kiyoshi returned, they had even instructed others to let Nobike's Kiyoshi come here the moment she returned. I wonder what this Senior Feishue is thinking. Housekeeper Tong muttered. I hope that he can continue staying in our high mountain city. Yufeng Junshan was slightly nervous too. The entire Macaws clan was celebrating after surviving through a huge calamity. It's just that Yufeng Junshan had some ambitions. If a late-stage God Emperor could stay in the high mountain city, it would be much more beneficial to their Macaws clan. Footsteps could be heard coming from outside. Nobike's Kiyoshi walked in. When she saw her father, brothers, and the elders looking over, she could not help but be startled. Kiyoshi, hurry up and come in. Have a seat first. Yufeng Junshan chuckled and ordered. Yes, father. Nobike's Kiyoshi sat down nervously. Third sister, Senior Feishue has helped our Macaws clan this time. Was such a huge favor, does he have any orders for our Macaws clan to do? Minamoto no Raiki asked. Nobike's Kiyoshi shook her head. Nothing. Teacher did not ask our Macaws clan to do anything. Is Senior Feishue planning on leaving the high mountain city? Minamoto no Raiki asked again. Yufeng Junshan and the others by the side became nervous. If he saved the Macaws clan, then left, then the future days of their Macaws clan would not be much different from now. Their high mountain city would remain as one of the many remote cities in the vast divine realm, remaining unremarkable. According to their speculations, the possibility of the Feishue God Emperor leaving was very high. Firstly, experts of this level usually had their own pursuits, such as treasures and resources. They rarely stayed in small cities. Secondly, the Fei Shui God Emperor had always lived in seclusion. He should not be fond of disputes. This time, he had killed the master of the Demon Heart Society, and his name would definitely spread across the divine realm. By then, there would likely be some disputes. And if he left the high mountain city and went to another city to live in seclusion, it would be hard for others to find him. At the very least, the Macaw's clan had tried, yet they could not trace down this Fei Shui God Emperor at all. Furthermore, according to the intelligence, it was practically impossible to trace down an ascendant God Emperor. Nothing. Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at her father and the others in bewilderment. She shook her head. Teacher did not mention anything about leaving. Yufeng Junshan and the others heaved a sigh of relief at that moment. Teacher only said that he does not like to be disturbed. He asked me to tell father and you not to disturb him if there isn't anything important. Nobike's Kiyoshi added another sentence. It's something we should do. Yufeng Junshan revealed a grin. How important is the cultivation of Senior Fei Shui? With his identity, how could anyone be qualified to meet him? All of you should listen clearly. If there isn't anything important, do not disturb him. Yes. Minamoto no Reiki and the others acknowledged. The grin on Yufeng Junshan's face became even more brilliant. Disliking disturbances? As long as Senior Fei Shui resided in their high mountain city, the surrounding organizations would have to treat their Macaw's clan with respect. It would also be much easier for their Macaw's clan to conduct transactions with the surrounding cities. This Senior Fei Shui does not like to be disturbed. But there will always be some mundane matters he needs to attend to. He does not have many subordinates, and by then, it would be most suitable for my Macaw's clan to help him settle these mundane matters. Yufeng Junshan felt more satisfied. Kiyoshi? Yufeng Junshan asked. Senior Fei Shui does not allow others to disturb him. As a disciple, you should be able to meet your teacher, right? I can meet teacher anytime. Nobike's Kiyoshi answered. All right. Yufeng Junshan chuckled. Kiyoshi, your teacher, Senior Fei Shui, has done a great favor for my Macaw's clan. This favor must be engraved in our hearts. Do you understand? And then I know. Nobike's Kiyoshi nodded. The Macaw's clan clearly wanted him to board this warship, Fei Shui God Emperor. And on this night, Easternwood City also received the news. And then? Easternwood City Master sat alone at the peak of a mountain within the city. He was constantly fusing with this world. He was wearing a green robe, and his aura was vast and distant like the world. He opened his eyes and revealed a look of astonishment. A middle-stage ascendant God Emperor actually appeared in a small city like the high mountain city. His strength is comparable to that of a late-stage God Emperor? Fei Shui God Emperor? Easternwood City Master frowned slightly. Talking about this, the Easternwood City was the strongest superpower within a huge region. Small cities like the high mountain city had to look up to the Easternwood City. And now, there was actually an expert who could fight against a late-stage God Emperor in this region. One had to know that he, Easternwood City Master, was merely a late-stage God Emperor. He could heavily injure the Devil Heart God Emperor with a single move and shatter his body into pieces with 3 moves. This strength is indeed comparable to a late-stage God Emperor. Fortunately, it seems he does not like disputes. Previously, he has been living in seclusion within the high mountain city, and has never publicized his strength. Easternwood City Master nodded slightly. I have to send an emissary team to pay a visit to this Fei Shui God Emperor. No matter what, he had to convey his goodwill. The personality of Easternwood City Master was one who did not like to fight. It's just that cultivating the ancestral god bloodline required him to have many resources and treasures. In addition, there were many disciples from the Easternwood clan who had attached themselves to him. Hence, Easternwood City Master had to fight for various resources. They were well informed. Within a day or two after the fall of the Master of the Demon Heart Society, they received the news. They also understood that there was another overlord in this divine realm. Fortunately, They were in the same region as Eastern Wood City Master. Hence, the influence they had on other experts in the divine realm was negligible. High Mountain City, Feishua residence. High above the pavilion. Dongbu Shuang sat cross-legged by himself. He continued pondering over the chaotic origin refinement body. Even though he had created several versions that could barely allow his body to reach the middle stage strength of God Emperor, they were not stable. Either his arms were strong, or his legs were strong, or his abdomen and back. It was impossible for his entire body to be stable. Who would have thought that I have to publicize my strength because of my disciple? So be it then. That's fine too. If more trouble comes, I might be able to temper myself. Dongbu Shuang was filled with confidence. Actually, even if he publicized his strength, not many would come and find trouble for him at his level. When the God Emperor list changes, my name will spread even wider. If Great Emperor North River is in this world, he should know about it. Dongbu Shuang smiled in anticipation. Great Emperor North River should have been teleported to this world. There was some enmity between him and North River. I wonder how North River will react. Dongbu Shuang remained indifferent. His calmness originated from his strength. Currently, even though his chaotic origin refinement body was not stable, he could maintain the strength of late-stage God Emperor for an hour just by relying on his Tao of Void. This strength was equivalent to a great emperor in the Broken Tooth mountain range. And the Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm, would influence even Grand Perfection God Emperor. Grand Perfection God Emperor was equivalent to a supreme in the Broken Tooth mountain range. He did not use his Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm, when dealing with the master of the Demon Heart Society. If he used his full strength, with his Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm, coupled with his late-stage God Emperor strength in the Tao of Void, he could even fight against Supremes. Even if he was at a slight disadvantage, it was not a problem for him to survive. Furthermore, he still had the Great Destruction Realm teleportation technique if he encountered other troubles in the Divine Realm. That was why Dongbu Shuang could continue living peacefully in the High Mountain City after killing the master of the Demon Heart Society. Master! A protector came before the pavilion. He respectfully announced, Xing Luzhu from the Heavenswell Pavilion is here to visit. Oh, let him in. Dongbu Shuang ordered. Yes. The protector immediately left. Very soon, Xing Luzhu ascended the pavilion. When he saw the white-robed young man seated cross-legged there, he immediately bowed respectfully. God Emperor, the newest God Emperor ranking list is out. Saying that, a scroll appeared in his hand. Dongbu Shuang chuckled. He waved his hand, causing that scroll to fly over to him. Such a small matter like sending a scroll over, you can just order your subordinates to send it over. You are a pavilion master, yet you are here personally? God Emperor, don't tease me. I am merely the pavilion master of the Heavenswell Pavilion residing in the High Mountain City. It is my honor to send a scroll over to God Emperor. Xing Luzhu added. Dongbu Shuang chuckled as he unfurled the scroll. He began looking at the updated God Emperor ranking list that was created because of him. Every time the God Emperor ranking list changed, a new God Emperor ranking list would be created. Kevin. Today, there was only one update. Chapter 13-14. The God Emperor ranking list recorded on the scroll was detailed. With his consciousness, he could sense the simple information of every expert listed on the list. If he wanted more detailed information, he would have to pay a higher price to purchase it. Oh, 268th? Dongbu Shuang nodded slightly. This ranking was still fair. In this world, there were more than 30 Grand Perfection God Emperors, Supremes, and late-stage Ascendant God Emperors. For instance, Hidden Willow Valley Master and others were at this level. There were more than 250 late-stage God Emperor Ascendants, of which there were more than 30 middle-stage God Emperor Ascendants. He was ranked 268th. There were still some late-stage God Emperor Ascendants and middle-stage God Emperor Ascendants behind him. Most likely, when I unleashed my strength, my aura became unstable. affecting my ranking. And I personally killed the master of the Demon Heart Society, proving my combat power. That was why I was ranked 268th. Dongbua Shuang pondered. He then turned to Xing Luzhu from Heaven's Will Pavilion and chuckled. Xing Luzhu, Heaven's Will Pavilion still regards me highly. They did not rank me as the last among the late-stage God Emperor and middle-stage God Emperor ascendants. This is decided by the higher-ups. I am not qualified to influence it at all. Xing Luzhu answered. Ha! Dongbua Shuang chuckled. I don't mind. I even feel that this ranking is not bad. Xing Luzhu chuckled. All right, if there's nothing else, you can withdraw. Dongbua Shuang said. Yes, then I'll take my leave. Xing Luzhu respectfully withdrew. He had no choice. He, Xing Luzhu, was just a peak god monarch. And this Feishui god emperor was absolutely an overlord in the entire divine realm. Xing Luzhu naturally had to be respectful and do everything beautifully. After all, he was stationed in High Mountain City's Heaven's Will Pavilion, and the one he could not offend the least was this Feishui god emperor. Dongbua Shuang looked at the scroll before him. He muttered softly. 268th. The chaotic origin refinement body is currently unstable. Just based on his strength in the Tao of Void, this ranking is quite high. As he muttered to himself, he smiled and put away the scroll. To him, this was just fun. The ranking wasn't that important. The most important thing was to improve his own strength. He came to this world to sharpen himself. The God Emperor list came out. This caused many experts in this world to pay attention to this ascender who was ranked 268th, God Emperor. After all, for Dongbua Shuang to kill the master of the Demon Heart Society, unless they were especially interested in the news of the death of a deity world expert, they wouldn't let the Heavens Will Pavilion collect such information for a long period of time. As for the God Emperor leaderboard, many people paid attention to it. The God Emperor, as well as the countless God sovereigns of the God world, were all paying attention to it. Amen? In a small desolate city, a green-robed male who was currently drinking wine in a tavern suddenly had a slight change in expression. He had just received the information sent to him by the Heavens Will Pavilion. God Emperor leaderboard? The green-robed male muttered to himself. Feishui God Emperor? Ascendant? He immediately transmitted a message to the Heavens Will Pavilion. He wanted to purchase detailed information regarding Feishui God Emperor. After a moment, God Monarch. An attendant from the Heavens Will Pavilion in this small desolate city came specially to this tavern. He passed the scroll to the green-robed male. This information requires 3 lightning stones. Go. The green-robed male threw out 3 lightning stones. Yes. The attendant received the lightning stones before leaving. The green-robed male immediately read through the scroll carefully. This report recorded the series of information regarding Feishui God Emperor in detail. For instance, he was brought back from the Great Wilderness by the third lady of the Mikaz clan in High Mountain City, Nobike's Kiyoshi. Many events were recorded clearly. Look at the time. Before the third lady of the Mikaz clan brought him back from the Great Wilderness, the Heavens Will Pavilion could not find any records regarding him. The green-robed male sneered. It was normal for a god monarch to not have any records regarding him. Ingshan Snow Eagle, you came to this world too? The eyes of the green-robed male were filled with coldness. He was none other than Great Emperor North River. He came here much earlier than Dongbua Shuang. He could not track down Dongbua Shuang, and similarly, Dongbua Shuang could not track down him. Just like in the past when Great Emperor North River snatched away the thousand-eyed water droplet, Dongbua Shuang and the others could not pinpoint the precise location of Great Emperor North River even though they wanted to kill him. Those who cultivated in chaotic origin bloodlines might not specialize in concealing their aura, but it was entirely different once they reached the level of late-stage God Emperor. The majority of them were formidable in tracking down others. Even those at the Supreme Realm could perfectly conceal their aura. Dongbua Shuang had seen Supremes in the Broken Tooth mountain range before. Even if Supremes concealed their aura, Dongbua Shuang could not detect them. And Great Emperor North River was the Great Emperor closest to the supreme level in the Broken Tooth mountain range. His control over his aura was perfect too. It was impossible to track him down. Coming to this world, as a guest from another world, he naturally had to remain low profile. Concealing his aura, disguising himself as a god monarch and living in seclusion in a small city. He would occasionally go out for missions. Yingshan's Snow Eagle. Many thoughts flashed through the heart of Great Emperor North River. From the time he arrived, his name, the techniques he specialized in, and his identity as an ascendant, in addition to the fact that he was similarly living in seclusion, Yingshan's Snow Eagle fit all the criteria. How could there be such a coincidence? According to the intelligence reports, he could fight against late-stage God Emperor in the Tao of Void? Great Emperor North River frowned. If I include his soul technique, I should be at a disadvantage when facing him? It is more important for me to improve my strength. I'll wait until I reach the supreme level before playing with this Yingshan's Snow Eagle. Great Emperor North River sneered inwardly. He originally had a deep foundation, and after cultivating for a long period in the Snake Tooth Corridor, he had improved further. That time, he was discovered by Dongbush Shuang and Supreme Vast Ancient. He was forced to choose this path and was sent to this world. Only after coming here did he discover that this world was much more formidable in digging out bloodline energy as compared to the Broken Tooth mountain range. By collecting books, he could learn from them and comprehend them. Great Emperor North River was even more confident of reaching the supreme level. Let's wait and see. Great Emperor North River casually placed this matter to the side. Time passed. After Dongbush Shuang killed the master of the Demon Heart Society, his name spread across the divine realm. At least in the surrounding regions, many emissaries came to visit him. Even the Eastern Wood City sent over an emissary team. Dongbush Shuang was too lazy to meet most emissaries. Hence, he asked Nobike's Kiyoshi to deal with them on his behalf. Only the emissary team from the Eastern Wood City did Shuang meet them personally. After that, his days regained its peace. Because he killed quite a few God Emperor, Dongbush Shuang had many treasures. Most of them disdained him. Hence, he chose those that were beneficial to bloodline cultivation and gave them to his disciple Nobike's Kiyoshi. She was also the only disciple he accepted in this world. Nobike's Kiyoshi was originally a peak stage god general. After receiving the treasures, she rapidly reached the god monarch realm. In reality, any random god general like Dongbush Shuang could easily break through after spending so many treasures that even God Emperor felt heartache. Nobike's Kiyoshi breaking through was not considered much. Instead, it was her big brother Minamoto no Raiki who was an expert second only to Yufeng Junshan in High Mountain City. Minamoto no Raiki was even slightly stronger than Bat Mountain Master and God Monarch Jianin. After experiencing this huge calamity, from despair to hope, Minamoto no Raiki actually broke through to the early stage God Emperor 300,000 years after the fall of the Demon Heart Society Master. This brought joy to the entire Mikaze clan. Nobike's Kiyoshi was excited for a period. Dongbush Shuang also sent some congratulatory gifts over to congratulate Minamoto no Raiki. In the blink of an eye, it had been more than 80 million years since the fall of the Demon Heart Society Master. High Mountain City, Feishua's residence. There were currently some musicians playing music within the residence. There were also many female dancers dancing. Dongbush Shuang, Nobike's Kiyoshi, and the number 1 zither master of High Mountain City, Ling Xian, were seated there chatting and watching. Ever since he heard Ling Xian playing the zither in the past, Dongbush Shuang had gained this hobby. He loved listening to music and watching dances. Teacher, this is a dance piece personally composed by Sister Ling. How is it? Nobike's Kiyoshi said. Teacher? Teacher? Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at Dongbush Shuang with a puzzled look. Dongbush Shuang currently closed his eyes as if he was thinking about something. Nobike's Kiyoshi dared not speak after seeing that. Hong long long. At this moment, Dongbush Shuang in his hometown Primal Chaos Void and all avatars in Realm Heart Great Land were rumbling with consciousness. Many profound mysteries were fusing together to form an unfathomably profound and perfect technique. Chapter 13:15. At the moment when this perfect technique was formed, an illusory realm naturally appeared in the heart of Dongwu Shuiying. It was vast and filled with endless life force. Yet killing intent was hidden within. Life force and killing intent were like two sides of the same coin. They entangled with each other, causing the entire world to be more interesting. It was just like where there was life, there would be death. Where there was light, there would be darkness. This entanglement was like a surging current that penetrated through the entire illusory realm. Simply speaking, the core of the operating laws of this illusory realm were these two sides of the same coin. Using these two sides of the same coin as the core, Shuiying fused other comprehensions of the Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm, into it. Everything was going according to nature. Hong long long. The souls of every avatar of Shuiying were rumbling as they underwent a transformation. Their souls were becoming clearer and more ethereal. They were able to deduce the same technique at a faster speed, and more accurately at the essence. Not only that, their souls were becoming more condensed. They were even vaguely moving towards a qualitative transformation. My soul! So powerful! It seems stronger than my fleshy body. Dongwu Shuiying felt an illusory feeling of power. It felt as if his soul had become so strong that it could fuse with the origin source of this world. As long as this world existed, his soul would not be extinguished. Of course, this was just a vague feeling. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Who? Suddenly, within the residence of Feishui in High Mountain City, Dongwu Shuiying, who originally closed his eyes, abruptly opened them. His eyes became incredibly deep. Ling Xian's Zither Master and Nobike's Kiyoshi were originally nervous when Dongwu Shuiying suddenly closed his eyes and ignored them. But when they saw Dongwu Shuiying opening his eyes, the two of them could not help but immerse themselves in it. It felt as if this was the most enchanting pair of eyes in the world, and they were willing to immerse themselves in it. My fleshy body! Dongwu Shuiying felt his entire body cheering. His soul was actually nourishing his fleshy body unknowingly, allowing his fleshy body to develop towards perfection. The transformation of his fleshy body was a minor matter. Dongwu Shuiying was more concerned about his soul. My soul, this feeling. Dongwu Shuiying's soul could sense the powerful essence of the immortal world. The essence of this world was coarser than that of the source world, but the quantity was much greater. The soul was the most unique energy of a living being. For instance, there were blood sacrifices in the realm heart great land that could refine essence of blood spirit from within. Some of the more powerful souls could refine the essence of blood spirit, and absorbing it was more effective than absorbing the origin source. Clearly, the soul was a similar power to the world origin, just that it was more unique. I feel like I'm just a step away from fusing with the world's origin. Once integrated. As long as the world's origin was not destroyed, his soul would not be destroyed. How terrifying was that? Even a chaotic origin expert could control an origin world. It was impossible for him to destroy the world's origin source, because destroying the world's origin source would truly perish. The Tao of Soul can actually reach such a level after reaching the ultimate realm? Dongwu Shuiying thought to himself. He had just comprehended the third Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm killing technique. This third killing technique was a perfect fusion of the previous first killing technique, resplendent illusory world, and the second killing technique, killing intent of the illusory world. Its power had greatly surpassed the previous killing technique. This qualitative transformation had even given Dongwu Shuiying a feeling that he was incomparably close to the soul final realm. And now that he had created this technique, he was just a strand away from reaching the final realm. If I reach the final realm in the Tao of Soul, it seems it is far beyond what ordinary Tao paths can compare with. Dongwu Shuiying thought. That's right too. The foundation of life was the soul. The difficulty of cultivating the Tao of Soul was far beyond other Tao paths. Amen? Dongwu Shuiying looked around him. Within this palace hall, Nobike's Kiyoshi, Zither Masterling Xian, and the dancers and musicians who were performing had all collapsed. It seems I have unknowingly affected them when I broke through. With a thought, Dongbu Shuang sent a ripple across the entire palace hall. Everyone in the palace hall woke up. They were even slightly at a loss. Nobike's Kiyoshi looked at Dongbu Shuang. She was still in a daze. Teacher, why did I fall asleep? I have unknowingly affected you all. Oh right, I am preparing to enter closed-door cultivation for a period. If there isn't anything important, do not disturb me. Dongbu Shuang instructed. Yes, teacher. Nobike's Kiyoshi acknowledged. Amen. Dongbu Shuang nodded and stood up. He nodded slightly to Zither Masterling Xian by the side before leaving the place to enter closed-door cultivation. Within the cultivation room, Dongbu Shuang was thoroughly feeling the changes brought about by this breakthrough. Firstly, his chaotic origin refinement body. Originally, his middle-stage God Emperor body was not stable and could only last for an hour. But now, the influence of his soul on his fleshy body had made it more perfect. It was stronger by approximately 50%. Furthermore, even though it was still unstable, the consumption on his body had been greatly reduced. His body's recovery ability was sufficient for him to resist against it. In other words, he could fight continuously. The influence of my soul on my fleshy body is merely perfecting the foundation of my fleshy body. It can merely improve it by a few times. As for my chaotic origin refinement body, it is a qualitative transformation. Dongbu Shuang understood that the help his soul could provide to his fleshy body was merely icing on the cake. If he wanted to cultivate his fleshy body to the half-chaotic origin life-form body, or even become a chaotic origin expert, he still had to improve his Tao of Void. Just a little more. This third Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm killing technique is just a little bit away from reaching the final realm. Dongbu Shuang shook his head. Because the first two killing techniques were already very powerful. The third killing technique had been greatly improved. From a certain perspective, it was not much different from a final realm technique. But it had yet to reach the final realm. He had yet to reach it. Final realm represented grand perfection. Like when he was at the level 2 Cosmos God realm in the Tao of Void, by relying on a supreme secret impartation, he could exert strength comparable to ordinary final realm experts. Even if the technique was strong, it did not represent his realm. This third killing technique had absorbed the profound mysteries from the gray eyes and golden eyes of that thousand-eyed existence and successfully fused them together. This technique was indeed strong, but it was still incomplete in terms of realm. And these incomplete parts, it prevented his soul from reaching grand perfection. I have been pursuing too much in destroying the soul of my enemies. Dongbu Shuang thought. Because this third killing technique sought to fuse the first two killing techniques together. Hence, when he first created it, he had used the first two techniques as a single entity to create it. This move of mine is slightly too extreme. Dongbu Shuang knew where the problem lay. Next, the fourth killing technique will make up for these flaws. Dongbu Shuang thought. When I create the fourth killing technique, it should be the moment when my Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm reaches the final realm. I am truly looking forward to it. After breaking through, he would reflect and consolidate his strength. This did not take too long. The reason why Dongbu Shuang chose to enter closed-door cultivation was because it was time for him to leave the high mountain city after grasping the third Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm killing technique. Who? Dongbu Shuang sat cross-legged. Waving his hand, a scroll appeared before him. The scroll recorded detailed information regarding the Tao of Void chaotic origin lifeforms. Dongbu Shuang had been collecting information regarding the Tao of Void ascendant scriptures through the Heavens Will Pavilion in High Mountain City. Another reason was to collect information regarding Void lineage chaotic origin lifeforms. In reality, he had already obtained some useful information. It's just that he did not feel that it was time to act. There is a corpse of a Void lineage chaotic origin life form in Iron Dragon City. Dongbu Shuang read through the information. chaotic origin lifeforms had laws manifested all over their bodies. For instance, some chaotic origin lifeforms might only have some Tao of void laws manifested on very few parts of their bodies. That was of limited help to Dongwu Shuiying. And void lineage represented that a chaotic origin life form specialized in void lineage techniques. The majority of laws manifested on their bodies were of the void lineage. This was also what Dongwu Shuiying was pursuing. It's just that innate void lineage chaotic origin lifeforms were very rare. Iron Dragon City Master is ranked 7th on the God Emperor list. Dongwu Shuiying thought. There were more than 30 Supremes in this world. Iron Dragon City Master was ranked 7th. He had 5 children. All of them had been nurtured to the God Emperor level. Naturally, only the Crown Prince was a late-stage God Emperor. The strength of Iron Dragon City Master was even stronger than that Hidden Willow Valley Master. If I could get this void lineage chaotic origin life form corpse collected by Iron Dragon City Master, it would be of great help to me. Dongwu Shuiying thought. The deterrence of Iron Dragon City Master was too great. He had never thought of snatching it by force. Even so, he was waiting for the third Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm killing technique to be created before he decided to act. Chapter 13:16. Dongwu Shuiying stood up and stood in the quiet room. Suddenly, his figure changed, his appearance changed, and even his aura changed, becoming as cold as a 10,000-year-old glacier. Changing one's aura was a small matter. At Dongwu Shuiying's level, changing one's soul aura was very simple. However, it wasn't easy for him to resist some prying techniques. Some of the experts in this world had special abilities because of their bloodlines. Some divine abilities could allow one to see the strength of others. Like that housekeeper Yun's jade light god eyes, the ancestral god bloodline originated from the 3 chaotic origin experts who created this world. Naturally, it contained all sorts of mystical aspects. For instance, if an expert at the level of God Emperor specialized in spying, his techniques would be much more formidable than that housekeeper Yun. Before this, Dongwu Shuiying did not have the confidence to fend off the spies. But now, with my attainments in the Tao of Soul, I doubt anyone below the chaotic origin level could see through my strength. Dongwu Shuiying thought to himself. This time, after comprehending the third move of the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm, his soul spirit had undergone another transformation and was already at the threshold of qualitative change. As long as he made a slight breakthrough, he would be able to complete the qualitative change. At that time, his soul would be able to fuse with the origin of a world. As long as the world was not destroyed, he would not die. Now that his soul aura had changed, Dongwu Shuiying believed that no one would be able to see through his soul aura. Give me another sword. Dongwu Shuiying raised his hand, and a sheathed divine sword appeared in his hand. With a smile, he waved his hand, and the divine sword was strapped to his back. He was dressed in white and carried a divine sword on his back. Buzz! At the same time, Dongwu Shuiying's aura started to grow stronger, reaching the level of God Emperor late phase. His aura was filled with sharpness. Of course, this was all due to the uniqueness of his soul, which allowed him to easily disguise himself. If he wanted to, he could totally disguise himself as a perfect God Emperor, but there was no need for that. Rip! A black spatial rift suddenly appeared in the quiet room. Dongwu Shuiying took a step forward and disappeared into the Tailong city. Tailongqing. This was an incomparably flourishing city. Iron Dragon City Master was ranked 7th amongst the 30 over God Emperor Paragon level experts. Naturally, his strength was extremely terrifying. One had to know that the innate chaotic origin life form Hidden Willow Valley Master who could unleash the strength of God Emperor to grand perfection was only ranked 12th. Iron Dragon Hall. Shuiying turned into a stream of light as he flew through the sky. He descended down and landed before a towering residence. This residence occupied a huge area. It was even bigger than the entire high mountain city by a whole circle, more than 500,000 kilometers in area. Ho! Occasionally, Roars could be heard from within the mansion. Dombush Shuang was able to guess that this roar should be from the innate chaotic origin life form, the nine-horned armored dragon. In this divine realm, there were only two innate chaotic origin life forms, the nine-horned armored dragon. Both of them lived in the Armored Dragon Hall. They had a cooperative relationship with Iron Dragon City Master. They required the protection of Iron Dragon City Master. And the cultivation scripture that Iron Dragon City Master created, Undying Iron Dragon, had the help of the nine-horned armored dragon. Iron Dragon City Master's 5 children had been nurtured to the level of God Emperor by him. It was also because he had spent a huge amount of treasures. And the lineage of Iron Dragon City Master had given birth to more than 100 God Emperors. Those 2 nine-horned armored dragons had played a huge role in this. The innate chaotic origin lifeforms in this world are truly pitiful. There are too many experts. Even though innate chaotic origin lifeforms are good at survival, they would still die if they were attacked by a large number of experts. Dombush Shuang sighed. In the Broken Teeth Mountain Range, the use of innate chaotic origin life-form corpses was very low. Hence, the 5 great supremes were too lazy to kill them. But in this world, it was clear that the usage of corpses was much higher. This God Emperor, why have you come to my Iron Dragon Hall? The protectors in front of the residence looked at this white-robed male who carried a divine sword on his back. They could feel a terrifying sharp aura coming from him. They could not help but feel their hearts tightening. They became slightly more polite. This one is Qin Yun. I am here to pay a visit to Iron Dragon City Master, Dombush Shuang said. My clan's city master doesn't meet guests easily. A protector frowned. Even though the aura of this white-robed male was powerful, they were not afraid of him even though they were polite. After all, the city master of their Iron Dragon City Master residence was a grand perfection God Emperor. There were a total of 8 late-stage God Emperor experts. Even though most of them had built their own cities, there were still 3 late-stage God Emperor experts within the residence. There were even more middle-stage and early-stage God Emperor experts. I do hope for you to report my arrival, Dombush Shuang said. All right. Wait here for a moment. Seeing the strength of this person, the protector helped to report his arrival. Dombush Shuang sighed inwardly. This was indeed the Iron Dragon Hall. If Shuang merely maintained his middle-stage God Emperor aura, the other party would most likely be too lazy to report his arrival. After the time taken to brew a cup of tea, that protector returned. He said to Dombush Shuang, My clan's crown prince has invited you over. Please follow me. All right. Dombush Shuang immediately entered. Crown prince? Iron Dragon City Master had 5 children. The strongest one was the Crown Prince, who was a late-stage God Emperor. According to the intelligence report, this Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall was usually the manager of the Iron Dragon Hall. Because of the strength of Iron Dragon City Master, he disdained all trifling matters. Instead, he focused on cultivating and breaking through to become a chaotic origin life form. Any grand perfection God Emperor cultivator could be called a half-chaotic origin life form body. They were already standing at the doorstep of becoming a chaotic origin life form. Those who cultivated in bloodlines would become a chaotic origin life form the moment they broke through and underwent an ultimate awakening. This way. The protector led the way. Do not barge in recklessly. My Iron Dragon Hall has many forbidden grounds that forbid outsiders from entering. Understood. Dombush Shuang followed behind. The hall spanned across 500,000 kilometers. This protector flew slightly slower. Only after a while did he lead Dombush Shuang into a garden. Crown Prince, I've brought Azure Cloud God Emperor here, the protector respectfully said. Dombush Shuang looked over. A black-robed male was currently leaning on a chair. He seemed very casual. By the side, there were also 2 top-notch beauties serving him. Wine and fruits were being served to him. This black-robed male was quite handsome. He swept his gaze across Dombush Shuang. His eyes were filled with tyranny. He lightly waved his hand. Retreat, Azure Cloud God Emperor. If you don't mind, please have a seat and have a few cups of wine. Who would mind having a few cups of wine in the Iron Dragon Hall? Dongwu Shuang chuckled as he sat down cross-legged. This black-robed male was the eldest young master of the Iron Dragon Hall, Iron Dragon Yinshan. He was ranked 85th on the God Emperor board. For him to have such strength, he naturally had the help of his father. He even had treasures on him. But no matter what, to be ranked 85th on the God Emperor board by the Heaven Heart clan, one could see how strong he was. In addition, the Iron Dragon Hall was under the command of this eldest young master. That tyrannical aura he exuded was a result of being in a high position for a long time. Azure Cloud God Emperor? Late Stage God Emperor? On the God Emperor board of the Heaven Heart clan, there isn't Azure Cloud God Emperor's name. The eldest young master of the Iron Dragon Hall laughed lightly. The Iron Dragon Hall had many probing techniques. He had even arranged for a mid-stage God Emperor subordinate to use a sacred art to spy on him. He believed that this Azure Cloud God Emperor was indeed a late-stage God Emperor. In the past, I have always been cultivating in seclusion. Hence, my name isn't on the board, Dongwu Shuang said. Haha, I don't care if Brother Azure Cloud is truly cultivating in seclusion or if you have a sacred art to conceal your aura. I don't care. The eldest young master of the Iron Dragon Hall laughed. What I care is why Brother Azure Cloud is here. He did not care about the identity of the other party. Given his strength, and the backing of his father, in the divine realm, he did not even fear the three great royal clans. Even though the three great royal clans had the three chaotic origin ancestral gods behind them, strictly speaking, all civilians in the divine realm were descendants of the chaotic origin ancestral gods. Hence, as long as one did not attack the territories of the three great royal clans, even if one fought with the experts from the three great royal clans, some experts would fall, and the chaotic origin ancestral gods would never appear. But if one killed his way to the territories of the three great royal clans, that would be challenging the chaotic origin ancestral gods. I came here for a void lineage chaotic origin life form corpse, Dongwu Shuang said. I want this corpse. I wonder what price I have to pay before the Iron Dragon Hall is willing to sell it to me. Haha. The eyes of the eldest young master of the Iron Dragon Hall brightened. He laughed. Since Brother Azure Cloud is here for this chaotic origin life form corpse, I believe you should know how rare it is to obtain a void lineage chaotic origin life form corpse. In the entire divine realm, there are a total of 3 void lineage chaotic origin life forms. 2 of them are still alive, and 1 corpse is with me. It specializes in escaping and survival. The difficulty of killing it is much harder than killing ordinary chaotic origin life forms. I know. Dongwu Shuang nodded. This was also the reason why he came to negotiate after cultivating the 3rd Tao of Mirage, an illusory realm killing technique. Chapter 13-17. The Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall immediately stood up when he saw that. He waved his hand to the side. The 2 female attendants immediately left obediently, leaving behind only this Crown Prince and Dongwu Shuang. This corpse of a chaotic origin life form belongs to the void lineage. It is very precious. Given my father's temper, he isn't willing to sell it. But since he has no use for it, he has already given it to me. The Crown Prince grinned at Dongwu Shuang. If you want it, you'll have to exchange for it with a golden lightning chaotic origin bead and a dried realm leaf. Dongwu Shuang's pupils dilated. Ever since he killed the master of the Demon Heart Society, revealing part of his strength, he had bought quite a bit of intelligence from the Heavens Will Pavilion. For instance, information on the various treasures in the divine realm. Otherwise, if he could not recognize a treasure right in front of him, wouldn't it be a tragedy if he missed it? The dried realm leaf was a rare treasure used by the commoners in the divine realm to aid in cultivation. It was also an extremely rare item used to cultivate bloodline energy. In the history of the Heavens Will Pavilion, there had been 3 auctions for the dried realm leaf. During these 3 auctions, the lowest price was 3,900 chaotic origin crystal jades. The highest price was 5,800 chaotic origin crystal jades. Of course, there were more than just these 3 pieces in the divine realm. There were quite a few that were owned by Grand Perfection God Emperor and given to their disciples and subordinates. No matter what, the value of this dried realm leaf was approximately 5,000 chaotic origin crystal jades. This price was extremely exaggerated. One had to know that during the previous auction that Dongbush Shuang participated in, the final price of a chaotic origin life form corpse was only 20,000 chaotic origin crystal jades. It was fine if it was a dried realm leaf, but it was far inferior to the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. The golden lightning chaotic origin bead was incredibly precious and had never appeared in an auction before. According to Dongbush Shui Ying's understanding, there were only 3 golden lightning chaotic origin beads discovered in the history of the divine realm. Any one of them was worth more than most chaotic origin lifeform corpses. Even though the corpse of a void lineage chaotic origin life form was similarly rare, in terms of preciousness, most experts in the divine realm would not even compare to the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. After all, corpses were not as useful as the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. Golden lightning chaotic origin bead? Eldest young master, aren't you asking for too much? Dongbush Shuang asked. Ha Gao? The Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall sneered. Not at all. Of the 3 void lineage chaotic origin lifeforms, 1 corpse is with me. 1 is under the protection of one of the 3 great royal clans, the Extreme Star Clan. The last one might be wandering in the divine realm, but its survival capabilities are the strongest. There was once a total of 6 Grand Perfection God Emperor experts teamed up, yet they could not kill that chaotic origin life form. If you miss me, where are you going to find this corpse? In reality, there are quite a few who want this corpse. You are not the only one. I've already raised the same condition. Without the golden lightning chaotic origin bead, don't even think about it. Whoever brings the golden lightning chaotic origin bead over first, I'll give this chaotic origin lifeform corpse to you. In that case, there's no need for the dried realm leaves anymore, right? Dongbush Shuang said. My daughter's cultivation is lacking a withered realm leaf. If she could get the golden lightning chaotic origin bead, I believe it would be easier for her to get the dried realm leaf. The Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall looked at Dongbush Shuang. I've raised the condition. Brother Azure Cloud, after you get the golden lightning chaotic origin bead and a dried realm leaf, bring them over to exchange with me for the corpse of the void lineage chaotic origin life form. Can I have a look at that chaotic origin life form corpse first? Dongbush Shuang asked. Sure. The Crown Prince was very forthright. Flipping his hand, a storage Eden treasure appeared in his palm. I've already removed the isolation barrier. You should be able to see what's inside this storage Eden treasure. Dongbush Shuang looked over. A strand of consciousness rapidly permeated over. Indeed, it did not encounter any obstruction as it permeated into the storage Eden treasure. At that moment, he saw an enormous corpse that meandered like a mountain range lying on the ground. Even though it had fallen, its corpse was still emitting a strange fluctuation. Dongbush Shuang could see the laws and profound mysteries manifested on every part of its body. The many green scales on its body, its tail, the many horns on its back, and the patterns on those horns. Dongbush Shuang could see the inscriptions on them. They were incredibly profound. Dongbush Shuang swept through them. Just the surface of this chaotic origin life form corpse, the scales, the horns, the claws, nearly 90% of them manifested laws and profound mysteries related to the Tao of Void. They were similarly profound and contained some profound mysteries at the chaotic origin level. Different parts of the corpse manifested differently. It was a different usage of the Tao of Void at the chaotic origin level. Have a look. The Crown Prince kept it with a flip of his hand. He smiled at Dongbush Shuang. Dongbush Shuang felt his heart blazing. He had to get it. He had only taken a cursory look previously. One had to know that he had to look at the structure of the inscriptions within the eyeball of a chaotic origin life form for a while before he could memorize them. That enormous corpse would most likely take hundreds or thousands of years to memorize just the surface. If he were to dissect the body, it would take him a very long time to memorize everything. As for the time taken to comprehend it, it was even harder to calculate. Everyone says that the teacher imitates the world. Nevertheless, reaching my current realm, the profound mysteries of the Tao of Void contained in the world might not be as profound as what I have comprehended. Dongbu Shuang shook his head. Like this divine realm, many laws were incomplete. They were even tyrannical and oppressive. What he was pursuing was the chaotic origin level. This was no longer something that could be contained in the world. Even though the chaotic origin 7 strikes was powerful, only the 6th and 7th strikes involved the chaotic origin level. Those were merely the most superficial applications of the technique. By relying on it, Shuang could only fight against some ordinary low-graded chaotic origin lifeforms. To him, a corpse of a void lineage chaotic origin lifeform was absolutely a good target for him to study. It would be of great help to him. I've said it before. This chaotic origin lifeform corpse is given to me by my father. The decision lies with me. The Crown Prince looked at Dongbu Shuang. If you get the treasure I want, you can come and find me. I'll try my best. Dongbu Shuang stood up. Then I shall not send you off. The Crown Prince chuckled. He watched as Dongbu Shuang left. The golden lightning chaotic origin bead was what the Crown Prince desired the most. Even with his identity, he could not get it. If I have the golden lightning chaotic origin bead, I can increase my strength by another 50%. By then, even a grand perfection god emperor would not be able to deal against me. The Crown Prince thought. He was originally very strong. He was ranked in the front even amongst late-stage god emperor. He was similar to Great Emperor North River during the Broken Teeth Mountain Range period. There were too few treasures that could greatly increase his strength. The golden lightning chaotic origin bead was the one that could improve his strength the most. After leaving the Iron Dragon Hall, Shuang stealthily entered an alley within the Iron Dragon City. He executed the Great Destruction Realm teleportation technique and left stealthily. First, he went to another small desolate city. He changed his aura, disguising himself as a peak-stage god monarch expert before purchasing detailed information regarding the dried realm leaf and the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. Previously, even though he had obtained information on the various treasures in the divine realm, that was just an overview. The more detailed the information was, the higher the price would be. So expensive. Dongbu Shuang sighed inwardly. The detailed information on the dried realm leaf and the golden lightning chaotic origin bead cost him a total of 8,000 lightning rocks. There are quite a few owners of the dried realm leaf. Dongbu Shuang glanced over. The information provided by the Heavens Will Pavilion was formidable. They introduced a total of 15 owners. A total of 3 golden lightning chaotic origin beads. Dongbu Shuang also saw where these 3 golden lightning chaotic origin beads were located. For them to be able to protect a treasure like the golden lightning chaotic origin bead, they naturally had an extraordinary background. I'm going to start a massacre. Dongbu Shuang thought, let's see who has the greatest sin. He did not choose the easiest to deal with. Instead, he chose those with the greatest sin. For instance, that Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall. If he were a great devil with heinous sins, Dongbu Shuang would have chosen to assassinate him and snatch his treasures. But the Crown Prince of Iron Dragon Hall was at most an ordinary battle between experts. He did not have any karma or resentment. Hence, Shuang was not willing to forcefully snatch his treasures. And that was the residence of Iron Dragon City Master. Iron Dragon City Master himself was frightening enough. Within his residence, there were many arrays supporting it. Iron Dragon City Master would most likely be stronger by an entire level. He was not someone to be trifled with. And starting a massacre was part of his plan. Because he did not have many treasures. Even though he had killed the master of the Demon Heart Society, and some other god emperor, those treasures were far too lacking compared to the golden lightning chaotic origin beads and the corpse of a void lineage chaotic origin life form. He still had to rely on killing others to accumulate treasures. And he was not willing to kill some ordinary experts either. If he wanted to start a massacre, he would naturally find those great devils. Chapter 13:18. Dongbu Shuang looked at the information recorded on the scroll. Heavensville Pavilion had found out that there were a total of 15 people who possessed the dried realm leaf. According to the records of Heavensville Pavilion, the one with the greatest sin was called Crane Cave God Emperor. God Emperor Crane Pit was a middle-stage God Emperor expert. He was also the beloved disciple of the Grand Perfection God Emperor Palace Master Ghost C. Palace Master Ghost C could be considered an ultra-huge devil, and God Emperor Crane Pit was one of his 3 disciples. His personality was similarly evil and he had slaughtered countless people. Nevertheless, he had a powerful teacher. God Emperor Crane Pit was considered not bad among middle-stage God Emperors, and was ranked at the bottom of the God Emperor ranking list. Crane Cave God Emperor, according to the records of Heavensville Pavilion, he is truly a devil. Dongbu Shuang thought, let me personally go and see how much karmic resentment he has. Killing intent rose in his heart. With a thought, Dongbu Shuang easily found Crane Cave God Emperor from the many karmic connections he had. And then? He is actually in a remote city? Dongbu Shuang was shocked. It seems to be High Wind City. Following which, Dongbu Shuang executed the Great Destruction World Teleportation technique and rushed over High Wind City. In the vast God world, it was an unremarkable city. However, it still occupied an area of hundreds of thousands of miles. There were many citizens in the God world and various small powers. Heavensville Pavilion also had a branch here. It's Big Missy. Big Missy is out. On a street, there were many people. They were all looking at a few people far away. A pair of young ladies with 2 guards behind them. This pair of young ladies. One was a maid while the other was the Big Missy of High Wind City, High Wind Yurong. The High Wind City's city lord had 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter. This daughter was extremely intelligent and talented. She was currently at the peak of God Monarch. Because of the bloodline she cultivated, the higher her strength was, the more ethereal and transcendent Ling Feng Yurong's temperament became. Looking at her was like looking at the most beautiful thing in the world. Every time he came out, he would attract too much attention. The High Wind City Master knew how attractive his daughter was. Hence, he had long given the order to forbid his daughter from going to other cities, to prevent any twists and turns. Young miss, that person's gaze is very impudent. I'll go teach him a lesson. The green-robed attendant saw a person standing by the window of a restaurant in the distance. She couldn't help but grit her teeth and said, Don't be anxious. High Wind Yurong was a little surprised. Why didn't I sense anything? His heart of the ice realm should be able to sense malicious and greedy gazes. She looked around carefully and found a man with a hooked nose standing by the window on the 2nd floor of a restaurant not far to the left. He was holding a wine glass and looking at her with greed and excitement, as if he had seen a beautiful prey. This gaze made Ling Feng and Yurong feel uncomfortable. But why didn't his ice realm heart feel it? Young miss, he is too much. You can't let him off easily. The green-robed attendant was also anxious. The 2 guards by the side also noticed it, and their expressions changed. Haha, this is Big Miss Ling Feng and Yurong? The hook-nosed man by the window laughed. Come up and accompany me for a drink. As he spoke, he stretched out his left hand. His left hand expanded by a few hundred meters and instantly traversed the distance between them. Ling Feng and Yurong's expression changed. She wanted to retreat with the attendant, but an invisible energy surrounded her and easily restrained her. That huge hand grabbed onto Ling Feng and Yurong's waist and instantly brought her to the top of the restaurant. Big Miss! Big Miss! The 2 guards and the green-robed attendant were infuriated. At the same time, they felt fear in their hearts. Because their Big Miss Ling Feng was a peak-stage God Monarch. She was ranked in the top 10 in the entire High Wind City. How strong was the enemy to be able to capture their Big Miss in a single move? God Emperor class? Hurry and report to the city master. Hurry! They were extremely anxious. The green-robed attendant couldn't help but rush into the distant restaurant. Big Miss has been captured. She was captured by someone in that restaurant. Many passers-by on the streets were shocked when they saw this. Ling Feng and Yurong were the most dazzling people in the entire High Wind City. As her strength grew, her aura became even more ethereal. Every citizen of the divine world could only look at her with admiration. No one dared to have any blasphemous thoughts towards her. But now, their big miss was actually forcefully captured. This naturally caused many people to be incomparably furious. But they also understood how terrifying the enemy must be to be able to capture their big miss so easily. Although they were furious, they were helpless. On the second floor of the restaurant, the surrounding customers were all stunned by his actions of capturing High Wind City's big Mississippi. Only 2 of them had already swiftly slipped down the stairs. The hooked-nosed man carried Ling Feng and Yurong in his embrace. He placed her on his thighs and swept his gaze across the surroundings. Boom! An invisible ripple swept out. All the customers, including the restaurant attendants, were instantly annihilated. Not even dregs were left. This? Ling Feng and Yurong were so frightened that their faces turned pale. She knew that the enemy was terrifying. But casually killing innocent people still caused her heart to tighten. Who exactly is he? I also have the strength of a peak-stage god monarch. Even if he is at the early stages of God Emperor, he shouldn't be able to capture me so easily. Could he be at the middle stages of God Emperor? Ling Feng and Yurong couldn't help but guess. The enemy was powerful and vicious. Ling Feng and Yurong felt incomparably anxious. But now, her strength was completely sealed. She couldn't even control her communication treasure. Don't be afraid. The hooked-nosed man smiled. I killed them, but I can't bear to kill you. As long as you accompany me properly, I won't kill you before I get tired of you. As he spoke, he even sniffed Ling Feng in Yurong's face. And then, even your aura is mesmerizing. Who exactly are you? With your strength, you shouldn't be without any reputation. Ling Feng and Yurong couldn't help but ask. Of course I have to change my appearance. Otherwise, if I were to be recognized, wouldn't the entire High Wind City be frightened? The hooked-nosed man smiled. His hands caressed Ling Feng, and with a tearing sound, he had already torn apart a portion of Ling Feng and Yurong's clothes. This caused Ling Feng and Yurong to feel even more indignant. But with her strength sealed, she couldn't resist at all. Stop! An enraged roar followed. One after another, figures flew into the second floor of the restaurant. The one in the lead was a muscular man. He was the High Wind City Master. Behind him were many other peak-stage god monarchs. These peak-stage god monarchs had already linked their auras to form a battle formation. Let go of my daughter. High Wind City Master roared furiously. However, he was still cautious in his heart. Let go? The hooked-nosed man smiled. His facial features started to change. White fur appeared on his forehead, and golden scales could be seen on his face. Crane Cave God Emperor? High Wind City Master's face turned pale. This Crane Cave God Emperor had massacred countless people. He was also the one who loved beauties. The reason why he massacred people was because of beauties. In the future, your daughter will be a part of my collection. Crane Cave God Emperor said calmly. As for your High Wind clan, you have 2 choices. First, be completely annihilated by me. Second, your High Wind City Master commits suicide and allow me to pick 100 beauties from your High Wind clan. As for the rest of your High Wind clan, I can be merciful and let them live. Crane Cave God Emperor, this is my High Wind City. Don't go overboard. High Wind City Master raged. 2 choices. One was to annihilate his clan. The other was to commit suicide and choose 100 beauties. This was a humiliation to the High Wind clan. Quickly choose. I will give you 10 breaths of time. If you don't choose, I will choose for you. I will annihilate your entire High Wind clan. Crane Cave God Emperor brought a wine cup to High Wind Yurong's mouth. Come, let's drink together. High Wind Yurong shook her head. However, an invisible force was controlling her, causing her to be unable to struggle. She couldn't help but open her mouth and pour the wine in. In my hands, you won't be able to commit suicide or resist. You better listen to me obediently and make me happy. Otherwise, you will know, sometimes, death is a happy thing. Crane Cave God Emperor smiled. However, this smile caused High Wind Yurong's heart to turn cold. She was in despair, not only for her own fate, but also for the entire High Wind clan. 10, 9, 8. Crane Cave God Emperor said leisurely. High Wind City Master was trembling. The God Monarch experts under him were also panicking and in despair. In fact, all of them were transmitting anxiously. There were also some young men who were looking at their young miss being humiliated. They were filled with grief and indignation. 5, 4, 3. Crane Cave God Emperor admired the expressions of the people around him. High Wind City Master wanted to fight to the death. But regarding Crane Cave God Emperor's past battle achievements, the outcome of resisting was the annihilation of the entire clan. How can this be? Who can save me? Who can save my clan? High Wind Yurong was in despair. Suddenly, a figure stepped through the void and entered the second floor of the inn. The person who came was a white-robed man with a divine sword on his back. Who? All of them turned their heads over. Crane Cave God Emperor frowned as he looked over. There was actually someone who dared to enter at this moment. Was he courting death? This white-robed man's aura was ordinary to begin with. He was just at the God Monarch stage. He swept his gaze and said, Crane Cave God Emperor, you are plundering women again? So much vengeful energy and karma. This is really... As the white-robed man spoke, his aura suddenly exploded. It was so strong that it struck fear in one's heart. That aura caused Crane Cave God Emperor's expression to change. But the white-robed man just shook his head and sighed. He pointed with his finger. Pun! Crane Cave God Emperor's body trembled. The surrounding void distorted. Following which, Crane Cave God Emperor's eyes dimmed. With a putong sound, he fell to the ground. High Wind Yurong stood up. She looked in disbelief at the lifeless corpse of Crane Cave God Emperor. Chapter 13-19. Crane Cave God Emperor was dead. As a mid-stage God Emperor expert, compared to the Master of Demon Heart Society, Crane Cave God Emperor was one of the 3 disciples of the Great Circle, Supreme, God Emperor Palace Master Ghost C. He was killed just like that. Was this white-robed male with the divine sword not afraid of Palace Master Ghost C's revenge? So terrifying. High Wind City Master looked at the white-robed male in shock. With a single finger, he killed Crane Cave God Emperor and even caused the surrounding void to distort. There are only a handful of God Emperor late-stage experts who can do this. Usually, only the Great Circle God Emperor can do this. Killing a mid-stage God Emperor in a single move. It was indeed terrifying. 99% of God Emperor late-stage experts would not be this strong. What he did not know was that although Dingwa Shuang executed the Tao of Void on the surface, in reality, he executed the Mirage and Illusory Realm killer move. Before comprehending the third killer move, even the weaker God Generals of Broken Teeth Mountain Range, mid-stage God Emperor, would fall in front of him, much less the third killer move which was now several times stronger. Crane Cave God Emperor's soul was extinguished without any resistance. Thank you, Senior, for saving my daughter and my entire High Wind clan. High Wind City Master bowed respectfully and shed tears of gratitude. Thank you, Senior, for saving my life. High Wind Yurong's body circulated with light and her clothes were restored. She looked at the white-robed male whose aura was as sharp as a sword. She felt both gratitude and admiration. There is no need to thank me. Dongbush Shuang walked over and kept Crane Cave God Emperor's corpse. He looked at High Wind City Master and High Wind Yurong. Now that Crane Cave God Emperor is dead, with Palace Master Ghost C's character, he will not let this matter rest. I am not afraid of him, but you guys better prepare yourself. Don't let him vent his anger on you. Yes. High Wind City Master's heart tightened. But he did not panic. Because the situation now was much better than before. For example, the Crane Cave God Emperor had given him 2 choices. No matter which one it was, he, the High Wind City Lord, would have to die. This was because the Crane Cave God Emperor was very cautious. Now that a huge enmity had been formed, the early stage God Emperor High Wind City Master must die. Because the initial stage of God Emperor, although it was difficult to break through, who knew if one day he would break through to the middle stage of God Emperor? At that time, he would have the qualifications to threaten the God Emperor of the Crane Cave, so he had to kill him. But now, the one who killed Crane Cave was this mysterious expert in front of them. Although Palace Master Ghostsea was infamous, he was ultimately in existence at the Great Circle of God Emperor, honorable level. This time, their High Wind clan was also the one being bullied. As long as they temporarily left High Wind City, Palace Master Ghostsea would not bother to chase after them. Hurry up and get ready! Dongbush Shuang waved his hand lightly and turned to walk out. Following which, he turned into a stream of light and flew out of the second floor of the inn. On the streets outside, there were already many passers-by watching this scene from afar. These natives of the deity world were naturally strong. Although they were far away and there were some buildings blocking their view, they could still see everything that happened on the second floor of the inn. They also knew that the Crane Cave God Emperor had died, killed by the white-robed man. So powerful! Killed in a single move! The Crane Cave God Emperor did not even have the strength to resist. This High Wind clan is really lucky to have met with such a huge problem. The High Wind City Lord was about to die, but there was actually such an expert in our High Wind City. Seeing the injustice, he killed the Crane Cave God Emperor and saved them. The Crane Cave God Emperor was one of the 3 disciples of Palace Master Ghostsea. His background is really impressive. This expert actually dared to kill him. Humph! With this expert's ability to kill the Crane Cave God Emperor in a single move, he might even be a Grand Circle God Emperor. Naturally, he dared to kill him. He doesn't care about Palace Master Ghostsea's face. Many of the natives of the deity world watched as they transmitted their voices to each other. At the same time, they quickly left. They could not stay in such a dangerous place for long. On the second floor of the inn. Quick! High Wind City Lord was also decisive. He swept his gaze across the surroundings and ordered. We are also the ones who were humiliated. Although Palace Master Ghostsea would not go to the extent of purposely chasing after small characters like us, it is very likely that he would vent his anger on us. So quickly! The entire High Wind clan will split into 10 teams and board large ships to enter the great wilderness. We will temporarily avoid this calamity. After some time, we will gradually return. Yes. Yes. All of them acknowledged the order. So. They all turned into streams of light and rapidly flew out of the second floor of the inn. The entire High Wind clan was mobilized at the fastest speed possible. They had to be careful. If they had any wishful thinking, a casual move from that Palace Master Ghostsea would be enough to wipe out the entire clan. Dongbush Shuang changed into a black robe. His aura had also become much gentler. His early-stage God Monarch aura remained in High Wind City. In an unremarkable inn by the side of the road, he ordered a few dishes and a flask of wine. He slowly drank the wine and ate the dishes by himself. Palace Master Ghostsea is quite protective. He should be taking action immediately. Dongbush Shuang thought. The moment he killed the God Emperor in the Crane Cave, with Palace Master Ghostsea's strength, he would be extremely sensitive to karma. If his disciple's karma suddenly disappeared, he would definitely come to investigate. If he flies slowly, by the time he arrives, the culprit, would already be long gone. Thus, Palace Master Ghostsea should be seeking help from experts to rush here at the fastest speed possible. Although the great world-breaking teleportation technique was rare, there were still similar techniques. Only the strongest late-stage Ascendant God Emperor of the Tao of Void could execute it. However, there were many experts in the deity world. They had all sorts of strange bloodlines and talents. Those who could travel through long distances in the deity world could be counted with one's fingers. These few had high statuses. Even the weakest had the combat strength of a late-stage God Emperor. In addition, They would immediately teleport and escape whenever the situation turned bad. Naturally, not many could do anything to them. To be able to travel through long distances in the deity world, even the three great royal clans treated them as esteemed guests. A grand perfection god emperor expert had extremely high statuses in the deity world. There were only slightly more than 30 such experts in the entire deity world. Most of them could seek help from experts who could travel through long distances. And then, after drinking half of the wine and emptying 2 plates of dishes, Dongbua Shuang raised his head and looked into the distance. In the distant sky, suddenly, there was a resplendent starlight. In a passage filled with resplendent starlight, 2 figures appeared from the starlight. One was a plump male wearing a loose robe. There was even a horn on his forehead that was emitting a bizarre starlight. Beside him was a black-robed, skinny old man exuding a towering, baleful aura. When he swept his gaze around, the countless citizens of the High Wind City could feel a pressure on their souls even though they couldn't see the expert in the air. He is here. Dongbua Shuang placed down his wine cup in this wine shop. He watched silently. Palace Master Ghost-See, currently, the entire High Wind clan has fled in different directions. Those left behind in the city are all ordinary civilians. I hope you won't vent your anger on these civilians. Otherwise, even though I'm not willing to fight with the Supreme, there are times when I have no choice but to retreat. Back in the realm Heart Great Land, when he was still relatively weak, he dared to fight against Undying Underworld Emperor. He even destroyed the sacrificial offering of Undying Underworld Emperor. It was a good thing that Dongbua Shuang killed Crane Cave God Emperor. But he did not wish for the civilians in the city to be implicated. The moment the other party showed signs of acting, that would be when he, Dongbua Shuang, acted. On the 2nd floor of the restaurant where Crane Cave God Emperor fell, both Palace Master Ghost-See and Shuang came here. The surrounding time flowed backwards to the point where Crane Cave God Emperor captured High Wind Yurong. Only then did the scene resume. Scenes of him killing other guests and attendants with a single glance, teasing High Wind Yurong, threatening the High Wind clan. But when a white-robed male carrying a god sword appeared in the scene, the moment the white-robed male looked over, the entire scene shattered. It's him, Palace Master Ghost-See said with a low voice. I can't even see what happened at that time. Such power. But white-robed. Carrying a god sword? In the entire god world, there wasn't a single one of such experts who could be ranked in the top 100. He acted stealthily and did not dare to reveal his true body. He only dared to conceal his aura and change his appearance. I doubt he is that strong. For a grand perfection expert like God Emperor, why would he act stealthily? Doing things openly was equivalent to committing evil. It was also unbridled and unbridled. Since he did not dare to act with his true identity, this white-robed male should be afraid of you, Palace Master Ghost-See. Hence, he chose to disguise himself when dealing with Crane Cave God Emperor. A plump male chuckled by the side. Since he dared to kill my disciple, I'll absolutely not let him off. The eyes of Palace Master Ghost-See were filled with coldness. Chapter 1320. That battle just now, there should be many who saw it, right? The plump man laughed. And men. Palace head Ghost-See nodded. Instantly, a formless ripple spread out in all directions, quickly seeping into the souls of the nearest 10,000 deity realm citizens. Of these 10,000 deity realm citizens, the strongest was only at the middle stage God Monarch stage. In front of a great circle God Emperor level expert, the difference in strength was too huge. He could easily inspect their souls and read through their memories. Of these 10,000 citizens, over 100 had personally witnessed what happened on the 2nd floor of the restaurant. After all, the most dazzling young mistress of High Wind City had been captured. Naturally, the surrounding citizens were nervous and watched from afar. Although they did not dare to stay in a place of trouble, many of them hid in their own residences. Who knew that even though they hid in their homes, they would still be inspected by their souls? Not only Palace head Ghost-See, the plump man Star Wind City Master was also inspecting their souls. What? Palace Head Ghost C's expression changed. This Starwind City Master was also stunned. They had read through many memories and saw the battle scene. All of it was the white-robed man pointing at God Emperor from afar. The space around Crane Cave God Emperor warped slightly before Crane Cave God Emperor fell to the ground. One move! Just one move! And so casually? Palace Head Ghost C's expression turned ugly. Previously, he thought that the other party was afraid of him, Palace Head Ghost C, since he was being secretive and did not dare to reveal his true identity. But now, he saw that the other party killed Crane Cave God Emperor with just one move. Just one move! Starwind City Master sighed. Among the experts of God Emperor's late-stage strength, there are probably only 3 to 5 of them who can kill Crane Cave God Emperor in one move. The scariest thing is that this white-robed man did not even get close. Instead, he lightly tapped with his finger from afar, and even from a distance, he was able to kill Crane Cave God Emperor with such ease. It is almost certain that he is a Great Circle God Emperor. Not necessarily. It's also possible that the murderer changed the surrounding scenery and deliberately let the ordinary citizens of the Divine Realm see it, said Palace Lord Ghost C through clenched teeth. This might be a disguise and not real. What Brother Grey said is possible, but looking at the traces left around the restaurant and the damage to the surrounding tables and walls caused by the distortion of the void, more than 80% of the scene is real. If it is a disguise, it can only be said that his disguise scene is too perfect. Starwind City Master said. Help me see if there are any God Emperor level experts in this city, said Palace Master Ghost C. All right. Starwind City Lord nodded. Dongbush Shuang raised his wine cup and continued drinking. All of a sudden, spots of starlight appeared around him. These spots of starlight covered the entire city. The range of this domain is really big. Dongbush Shuang revealed a look of shock. These spots of starlight should be the Starwind City Master who was able to use the starlight traversal. Countless of starlight were probing the strength of every living being. However, Dongbush Shui Ying's soul had already reached such a level. If he were to disguise himself, even if Starwind City Master's probing was 10 times stronger, it would still be useless. The two of them. Dongbush Shuang raised his head to look. He saw that Palace Lord Ghost C and Starwind City Master had already flown out of the restaurant and were in mid-air. The two of them were observing the entire city. With Starwind City Master here, Palace Lord Ghost C shouldn't take his anger out on the innocent, right? Dongbush Shuang thought. Starwind City Master had a good temper and was able to make friends with various people. However, he did not have the temperament to slaughter the weak. Although Starwind City Master was slightly weaker, he was a late-stage God Emperor. But because of his sacred art, Starlight Traversal, his position was extremely high. He even addressed many God Emperor Great Circle experts as brothers, and the 3 royal families treated him with great respect. With Starwind City Master here, Palace Lord Ghost C should be more reserved. You dare to kill my disciple. Yet you don't dare to reveal your identity? A voice filled with hostility swept through the entire city. Countless citizens of the Divine Realm were frightened to the point that their hearts trembled. The entire city quietened down. Palace Lord Ghost C's voice continued to reverberate in the sky above the city. I, Ghost C, will remember today's enmity. The voice filled with baleful aura stopped. Palace Lord Ghost C looked around and waited for a moment before speaking with Starwind City Master by the side. So, the starlight appeared once again. The two of them disappeared within the starlight and left High Wind City. Actually, although Palace Lord Ghost C was a great demon, he only did things like massacring an entire clan. Exterminating a city was still very rare. Furthermore, the murderer this time was Dongbush Shuang. Palace Lord Ghost C's target was Dongbush Shuang. If that early-stage God Emperor High Wind City Master was still here, he might have been captured. It was just that the people in the city were all weak. Starwind City Master's friend was still by the side, so he naturally could not start a massacre. You will remember this enmity? Dongbush Shuang chuckled. The master of the Demon Heart Society should have said this in the past too. Dongbu Shuang chuckled as he continued eating and drinking. He was incredibly carefree. He was not afraid of that palace Lord Ghost Sea. He disguised his identity and acted low profile because he came from another world. Not just him, even the similarly low profile Great Emperor North River came from another world. In this world, it was natural for them to remain low profile. The moment they acted in a high profile manner, it was fine if they were ordinary experts, but they were afraid of those three chaotic origin ancestral gods. They were chaotic origin experts that created this world. How could Dongbu Shuang and Great Emperor North River not be afraid of them? When they acted in a high-profile manner, it meant that the attraction of this world was limited, and it was time for them to leave. After eating and drinking to their heart's content. I've already gotten the dried realm leaf. I'm just left with the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. Dongbu Shuang pondered. After all, there were quite a lot of dried realm leaves in the divine realm. It was relatively easy to collect them. He could simply collect a piece when he killed devils. But the golden lightning chaotic origin bead was the hardest to obtain because there were only 3 of them in the entire divine realm. They had huge origins. One was Golden Winged City Master, a late-stage god emperor. He was ranked in the front amongst the group of late-stage god emperors. He was ranked a shocking 39th on the god emperor list. He was not much weaker than a Grand Perfection God Emperor Supreme. The other was an Ascendant God Emperor, Chun Yu God Emperor. He was a middle-stage God Emperor. As an Ascendant God Emperor, he was ranked 162nd on the God Emperor list. The other was Cloud Flow Pavilion Master, a middle-stage God Emperor. He was not an Ascendant, and was merely a middle-stage God Emperor. He was not much better than God Emperor Crane Cave. But he had the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. Many late-stage God Emperor experts were coveting it. Even Grand Perfection God Emperor experts were slightly moved. They were willing to snatch it for their juniors. But nobody snatched it. Why? Because this Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was the grandson of the Cloud Phoenix City Master. She doted on him a lot. And Cloud Phoenix City Master was a terrifying existence ranked first on the God Emperor list. The 3 of them are not to be trifled with. Dongbu Shuang thought. Gold Feather City Master is the strongest. Being a native of the divine realm, he is clearly a late-stage God Emperor, yet his strength has almost reached the supreme level. But he is relying on external treasures like the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. If he did not have a few treasures, his strength would most likely fall to rank 80th or 90th on the God Emperor list. Dongbu Shuang thought. He was the strongest, and also the one he was least afraid of. By relying on treasures and bloodline energy, it was easy to deal with him. Under his 3rd Tao of Mirage and illusory realm killing technique, treasures and bloodline energy were useless. It was not bad that the other party could maintain his consciousness. Ascendant God Emperor, a middle-stage God Emperor. His soul and willpower are definitely formidable. If I did not create my 3rd killing technique, it would be hard to capture him. Dongbu Shuang thought, but now, it isn't hard to deal with him. The most troublesome one is this Cloud Flow Pavilion Master. Dongbu Shuang frowned. Cloud Flow Pavilion Master resided in Cloud Phoenix City. There was a terrifying expert who was ranked number 1 in the entire divine realm. She was ranked number 1 amongst a group of Grand Perfection God Emperor experts. According to her battle records, she was someone who had killed a Grand Perfection God Emperor in history. As for those who defeated and heavily injured God Emperor head-on, there were more than 10 of them. The main reason was because the Grand Perfection God Emperor wanted to spar and temper himself. That was why such a terrifying battle record was created. The one who was killed was too confident, and offended Cloud Phoenix City Master. She killed a Grand Perfection God Emperor. Dongbu Shuang thought, could it be that this Cloud Phoenix City Master's strength is comparable to an Ascendant God Emperor who is a Grand Perfection God Emperor? Ascendants could fight against those of a higher level. Late-stage God Emperor Ascendants could fight against the Grand Perfection God Emperor subjects. How terrifying was a Grand Perfection Ascendant God Emperor! This divine realm, according to the information gathered by Dongbush Shuang, he deduced from the clues. There should have been at least 2 Grand Perfection God Emperor ascendants, but both of them had disappeared. According to the information, among the 3 of them, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was pampered too much and was extremely arrogant. As a result, he committed the greatest sin. However, he was just arrogant, but his nature wasn't too bad. In fact, there were a few times where he was used. Dongbush Shuang thought. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's background was too huge. Naturally, there would be people who tried to use him. Golden Wing City Master's sin should be secondary. He was a vicious and merciless divine realm expert. However, he wasn't at the level of a great devil. Dongbush Shuang thought. This Golden Wing City Master was ruthless and merciless towards his enemies. This was considered normal among the experts of the divine realm. It was just that Golden Wing City Master frequently participated in all sorts of battles and massacres. The final ascendant, God Emperor, is the most low profile. He only focuses on cultivation and rarely participates in battles. Of the 3 Golden Lightning Chaotic Origin beads, I want one. What should I do? Dongbush Shuang pondered. Chapter 1321. That ascender, God Emperor, was eliminated by Dongbush Shuang first. The other party kept a low profile and focused on cultivation. Dongbush Shuang admired such cultivators. He would not act against such cultivators without any enmity. As for Gold Wing City Master and Cloud Pavilion Little Pavilion Master, Dongbush Shuang was willing to act against them. Gold Wing City Master massacred for treasures, slaughtered and fought. He was selfish and merciless. He wanted to eliminate all future troubles. For the sake of becoming stronger, he was willing to scheme and kill. He was definitely an ambitious and ruthless person. Although he was not categorized as a devil, Dongbush Shuang would not show mercy when killing such people. As for Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, he was the complete opposite of Gold Wing City Master. He did not have the heart to massacre, but many clans had been destroyed because of his authority. Countless lives had been lost. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master could already be considered a devil. It was just that many of these things were done by his subordinates using his authority. However, this Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master is not innocent. He was ultimately a middle-stage God Emperor expert. How could he not know what his subordinates were doing? It's just that his subordinates coaxed him so much that he let them do as they pleased. Shuang pondered. All right. It's him, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. Dongbush Shuang made his decision. Although the number 1 expert on the God Emperor board, Cloud Phoenix City Master, was a huge deterrent, Dongbush Shuang knew that even if he could not defeat her, it would not be a problem for him to use the Great Destruction Realm teleportation technique to survive. Even though the other party was the number 1 expert in the divine world, she did not know any ultra-long distance teleportation techniques. In reality, the few experts in the divine world that could teleport, other than ascenders, relied on their bloodline's sacred arts. Cloud Phoenix City Master's ancestral god bloodline clearly did not specialize in ultra-long distance teleportation. It was just that she was terrifyingly strong. Let's go. Dongbush Shuang paid for his meal and left High Wind City. He headed towards Cloud Phoenix City silently. Cloud Phoenix City was extremely large, spanning nearly 10 million miles. In the center of the city, there was a mountain range that was tens of thousands of miles high and stretched for hundreds of thousands of miles. The peak of the mountain was above the clouds, and the entire mountain range was filled with palaces. It was also known as the Cloud Phoenix Palace. Cloud Phoenix Palace. Dongbush Shuang raised his head and looked at the mountain range. His gaze pierced through the clouds and saw a huge manor at the peak of the mountain. The number 1 expert of the divine world lives there. Above her were the 3 chaotic origin ancestral gods who created this world. Fortunately, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master won't always stay in Cloud Phoenix Manor. Dongbush Shuang revealed a smile. The little floor master of the Cloud Tower had an arrogant personality and loved to enjoy life. He even built his own caged cloud tower. As the floor master, this caged cloud tower was filled with all sorts of pleasures. Most of the time, he would be in the caged cloud tower. Occasionally, he would go to other places in Cloud Phoenix City to enjoy himself. As for leaving the city, traveling to other places in the divine world would create a huge disturbance. Most of the time, there would be a total of 3 late-stage God Emperor protecting Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. They had no choice. Cloud Phoenix City Master was so powerful. There were more than 20 late-stage God Emperors who chose to rely on her. But the late-stage God Emperor placed great importance on cultivation too. In Cloud Phoenix City, there was only one late-stage God Emperor who followed this Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master for a long period of time. The only grandson of Cloud Phoenix City Master. Dongbu Shuang sighed inwardly. I've heard that Cloud Phoenix City Master once had a son and a daughter. During the period when she was imprisoned by a great enemy, her children had all died, leaving behind this only grandson. The growth of Cloud Phoenix City Master had been through many trials and tribulations before she reached where she was today. I have reached the caged cloud tower. Dongbu Shuang followed his karma senses and strolled around Cloud Phoenix City. Soon he arrived before a tall building. This building occupied a huge area. It was so tall that it pierced through the cloud layer. It was the number 1 entertainment place in the entire Cloud Phoenix City. He is up there. Dongbu Shuang looked up. Caged Cloud Tower. Pavilion Master. A black-robed youth was smiling. His eyes were like a fox's. Behind him were 6 young girls. All of them had peerless looks and auras. It was just that when these young girls looked at the back of the black-robed youth, their eyes were filled with hatred. But they had no choice. The lives and deaths of many of their kin and clansmen were in the hands of this black-robed youth. Come in. A voice came from within. Only then did the black-robed youth carefully push open the door. Within the hall, an extremely fat man was currently sitting there, and there was a purple-clothed female attendant serving him by his side. He was currently taking big mouthfuls of food. This extremely fat man was the only grandson of the Cloud Phoenix City Master, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. Oh! This Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master raised his head and looked at the 6 young girls with extraordinary looks and auras. They had different auras, but when the 6 of them stood together, they looked like a painting. Just looking at them was an absolute enjoyment. These are the 6 sisters that this subordinate had painstakingly found. The black-robed youth said fawningly. Pavilion Master, you will know how they taste after experiencing them. And men. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master revealed a smile. Good. Not bad. Chen Fu, you can withdraw for now. Even though he knew that some of his subordinates were using the tiger's might to intimidate others, it was precisely because they were able to coax him that he did not mind. For example, this black-robed youth in front of him was one of his 3 most favored subordinates, the early-stage God Emperor Chen Fu, God Emperor. He was most proficient in taming women. The black-robed youth God Emperor Chen Fu immediately retreated with a smile and closed the door. Only Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, the violet-robed female attendant, and the 6 young girls were left in the hall. All of you, come over. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's chubby hand beckoned. Yes, Pavilion Master. The 6 young girls immediately went over. The violet-robed female attendant smiled as she watched everything. She was completely loyal to her master and served him. She was also Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's most trusted female attendant. He would not avoid this female attendant for many matters. To Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, this female attendant was his kin. As for Chen Fu, God Emperor, and the others, they were just dogs that he raised. Suddenly, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master felt slightly dizzy. Where is this place? Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master looked at his surroundings in shock. This was a sinister prison. What's happening to me? Why is my strength sealed? Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master discovered in shock that he was tied to a pillar. There were other pillars by the side, and there were other people tied to the pillars as well. It's Chen Fu and the others. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master immediately recognized them. The people tied to the pillars were his 3 most beloved subordinates. Those 3 subordinates gradually woke up. What's going on? This Pavilion Master is here as well. Pavilion Master, quickly ask the city lord to come and save us. Those 3 subordinates shouted out in fear. My strength has been sealed. I can't send a message. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was anxious. Creak. The door of this sinister prison suddenly opened. A white-robed youngster with a divine sword on his back walked in. He coldly swept his gaze across the 4 of them before his gaze landed on Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, you have committed countless sins. Today shall be the day you die. Saying that, he pulled out the divine sword on his back. I didn't. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was extremely terrified. You still don't want to admit it? Do you want me to say it out loud? That Iron Flame clan was exterminated because of you, Sword Universe sect. The white-robed youngster started to speak. It's not me, it's them. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master said. His 3 tied subordinates were also terrified. It was just that they did not dare to evade in fear of offending Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. Don't worry, the 3 of them will die too, the white-robed youngster said. The 3 were startled. It has nothing to do with us. We are only Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's subordinates. We were ordered by Pavilion Master. We can't not listen to orders. Please spare us. The 3 subordinates immediately begged. No matter what, they had to survive first. You guys. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was furious. Stop evading. The 3 of you are evil. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, you have connived with them. All of you deserve to die. The white-robed youngster immediately waved his sword and pierced the body of one of the tied subordinates. That subordinate's body immediately trembled before turning into ashes. So. After 3 consecutive sword strikes, the 3 subordinates were all turned into dust. The white-robed youngster walked towards Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was extremely terrified. Don't kill me. Whatever you want, I will give it to you. My grandmother is Cloud Phoenix City Master. You should know that I can treat today's matter as if nothing happened. Whatever you want, I can help you. It's too late. When you connived with your subordinates, you already knew that such a day would come. The white-robed youngster waved his sword. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master revealed an expression of terror and despair. Who? No. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master suddenly opened his eyes. He discovered that he was still in the hall. The 6 young girls and the purple-robed female attendant had similarly collapsed on the ground. At this moment, they had awakened one after another. All of them revealed an expression of doubt. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master hurriedly climbed up and inspected himself. I didn't die. He revealed an expression of joy. Where are my treasures? All my treasures are gone? Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was extremely shocked. All of the storage treasures and other items that he brought along with him were gone. Today is just a small punishment. If Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master continues acting like this, the next time will truly be the time of your death. A voice rumbled within Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's soul. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master's expression changed. He knew. Everything that seemed to have happened in the dream just now was indeed done by a mysterious expert. To be able to silently cause him to fall into a dream, that expert would most likely be able to kill him silently as well. He would not be able to resist at all. Actually, Dongbu Shuang did not kill him. Firstly, it was because his grandmother was the #1 expert in Divine Realm, Cloud Phoenix City Master. If he really killed him, Cloud Phoenix City Master would definitely go crazy. That might affect his peaceful life. Secondly, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master himself was not a devil. He only turned a blind eye to his subordinates' actions. Due to these 2 reasons, he was spared. Boom! A figure smashed through the door and charged in. It was a stern old man. This stern old man was relieved when he saw that Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was safe. At the same time, he said, "Pavilion Master, Chen Fu and the other two are dead." Chapter 13:22. They are all dead? Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master felt his heart trembling when he heard that. Indeed, he could no longer sense the karma of Chen Fu and the other two. What happened in my dream has indeed appeared in reality. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master was filled with terror. In that dream, his three subordinates had died. He had died too. And in reality, he was the only one still alive. Especially when he had lost all his treasures. If the other party could take away all his personal treasures, killing him would be much easier. One had to know that many treasures were refined. Some could even be hidden in a drop of blood. For the other party to easily take away his treasures, it was clear that the other party had complete control over his life. The other party had directly dealt with his three subordinates. This filled Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master with terror. He was afraid that it would be his turn the next time. "Hurry up and inform my grandmother. Tell her that I am in danger of dying," Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master urged. "I should report to the city master?" The cold old man was slightly puzzled. Why did Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master not inform his grandmother himself? How would he know that Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master had lost all his treasures? Even his communication treasure was gone. "Hurry up!" Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master urged. "Yes," the cold old man acknowledged. Very soon, Hong, a terrifying aura, descended. A white-haired absolute beauty walked in. The aura she emitted felt like a boundless world. The cold old man, who was a late-stage God Emperor, trembled at this moment because Cloud Phoenix City Master could kill a late-stage God Emperor like him with a single move. After all, she had personally killed a Grand Perfection God Emperor. In the entire God Emperor ranking list, only Cloud Phoenix City Master could do so. Of course, there were some at the Grand Perfection God Emperor, like the innate chaotic origin life form Hidden Willow Valley Master. His true body was a huge tree. His life force was heaven-defying. Cloud Phoenix City Master could not deal with him, but she could absolutely suppress him. By the side of Cloud Peak City Master followed a red-haired girl. This red-haired girl had an extraordinary aura. She was an innate chaotic origin life form at the Grand Perfection God Emperor, Fire Phoenix God Emperor. She and Cloud Phoenix City Master were like sisters. "Cloud Flow, what happened?" When Cloud Phoenix City Master looked at her grandson, her voice had turned much gentler. When she saw her grandson, she immediately thought of her son and daughter who had already perished. "Everyone else, retreat! Everyone retreat!" Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master shouted. Immediately, everyone in the hall retreated. Only Cloud Phoenix City Master, Fire Phoenix God Emperor, and Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master were left. "Grandmother, I nearly died," Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master said in terror. "Oh? Tell me one by one." Cloud Phoenix City Master frowned when she heard that, but a baleful aura appeared. "Yes." Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master explained everything in detail. Cloud Phoenix City Master frowned slightly when she heard that. "To be able to silently cause you to fall into an illusion, you are after all a middle-stage God Emperor. The three strongest subordinates of yours that died were also middle-stage God Emperor. None of them had the strength to resist. The three of them had their souls extinguished. There are many people coming and going in the caged cloud pavilion. I have even arranged for late-stage God Emperor experts to stand guard here, yet none of them detected anything at all. An illusory realm is silent," Fire Phoenix God Emperor said from the side. "But I've never heard of such a formidable illusory realm in the entire divine realm. It is very difficult to cultivate in the illusory realm. This is considered a soul aspect." Amen. Cloud Phoenix City Master nodded. Firstly, an unprecedented soul aspect expert might have appeared. Secondly, it might be a native of the divine realm who grasps a powerful illusory realm-related bloodline ability. Thirdly, it might be a new innate chaotic origin life form that came to our world. Who knows, there might be an innate chaotic origin life form that specializes in the illusory realm. No matter which one it is, he is really daring to come to my Cloud Phoenix City and deal against my grandson. Cloud Phoenix City Master coldly said. But he is only giving a warning. He did not harm my grandson. In the future, I'll punish that person before letting him go. Cloud Phoenix City Master said. She waved her hand. The surrounding time began reversing. It began showing the scenes that happened previously. It's just that Dongbu Shuang had executed his mirage and illusory realm that prevented the scenes from being shown. Unable to reverse time? Cloud Phoenix City Master sneered. She lightly waved her hand, causing the clouds to condense into a mirror. The mirror began showing everything that happened previously. The mirror showed, within the hall, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master, the female attendant, and the 6 sisters had all fallen into a deep sleep. The door was pushed open. A white-robed young man with a divine sword on his back walked in just like that. Several people had fallen outside the door too. One of them was that Chen Fu God Emperor. After the white-robed young man walked in, he waved his hand, causing many treasures on Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master to fly out and land in the hands of the white-robed young man. Selah. Following that, a black crack appeared. The white-robed young man stepped into it before disappearing. Amen? Cloud Phoenix City Master and Fire Phoenix God Emperor were both startled. Even though the two of them were incredibly powerful, there were only a few in the entire divine realm who could teleport through an ultra-long distance. An unprecedentedly terrifying illusory realm and ultra-long distance teleportation. Who exactly is this? Cloud Phoenix City Master felt that the threat of this white-robed young man was incredibly high. At the very least, if he wanted to assassinate her grandson, she could not protect him at all. After all, she could not block the illusory realm for her grandson. A white-robed young man with a divine sword on his back. Who is he? There isn't such an expert amongst the apex experts in the divine realm. Fire Phoenix God Emperor felt puzzled. Is he an ascendant? A native of the divine realm? Or an innate chaotic origin life form? Taking a humanoid form could similarly be an innate chaotic origin life form. For instance, she, Fire Phoenix God Emperor, was an innate chaotic origin life form that took a humanoid form. Do you understand now? Cloud Phoenix City Master looked at her grandson, Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master. I can't help you block all the enemies. If this mysterious expert wants to kill you, he can do so stealthily. In the future, remember to restrain those subordinates of yours. I know. Cloud Flow Little Pavilion Master hurriedly acknowledged. Now that he was so close to death, how would he dare to continue conniving? After all, even though he did not care about the lives of the weak, he had no interest in slaughter. What he liked was enjoyment. Amen. Cloud Phoenix City Master felt relieved inwardly. The other party did not kill her grandson. Clearly, he did not wish to form an enmity. Since he did not kill her grandson this time, as long as her grandson restrained his subordinates, he would not kill them again in the future. Perhaps this time, it was a form of warning to her grandson. It would let her grandson understand that there were still people who could threaten his life in this divine realm. But who exactly is this person? Even though Cloud Phoenix City Master did not feel any threat, she understood that this mysterious expert was much more threatening to the other God Emperor. Big sister, with such strength, it is impossible for him to remain unknown forever. As time passes, he will be exposed. Fire Phoenix God Emperor chuckled. By then, we can go and spar with him. Dongbu Shuang had already arrived at Iron Dragon City. I've finally gathered everything. Dongbu Shuang was filled with anticipation. He had gathered both the dried realm leaf and the golden lightning chaotic origin bead. He did not care about these items that would be of great help to the natives of the divine realm. But that corpse of an innate chaotic origin life form with the void lineage was something he desired. Even though there were innate chaotic origin lifeforms in the Broken Teeth mountain range over at the Realm Heart Great Land, they were few in number. There were none with the Void lineage. In this world, there were many more innate chaotic origin lifeforms, and there were only 3 with the Void lineage. It was sufficient for him to obtain one. After all, it was of the Void lineage, and the majority of this chaotic origin life form corpse was a manifestation of the Tao of Void. This wasn't like those desolate beasts. Most innate chaotic origin lifeforms had huge bodies. Every single scale had to be carefully studied. Just studying through it once would take a long time. It was absolutely the best target for him to comprehend the Tao of Void. It was more precious than any scripture. Iron Dragon Hall, in front of the residence. The Protector looked at the white-robed male who carried a divine sword on his back. He could not help but feel startled. Because not too long ago, this Azure Cloud God Emperor came to visit. Azure Cloud God Emperor? The Protector asked. I wonder what Matter God Emperor is here for? Please relay that I want to meet the Crown Prince. Dombush Shuang said.